All right, baby. We live. We live. What it do? What it do? What it do? We in the building. We in
Chatting
the
with a
building.
bro.
Man, you already know what it is, man. Loyal to the game boxing. Co-host OTB boxing class where we turn casual fans and the hardcore boxing fans. What's poppin', family?
What's poppin', family?
Man, I can't call it. How was your weekend?
Man, I had a great week of boxing. Had a
Yeah, man.
really had a great weekend of boxing. I gotta say that.
Okay. Okay. I've been saying it, man. 2000 2002 has been a great week. I mean, a great week, a great month. I mean, great year. Excuse me, of boxing. What's up with it, Cat man? Salute to you, family.
Salute, Cap man.
Yeah, 2022 has been a great year. I feel like it's a pandemic. It's like a pandemic overload. Basically the spillover from what we weren't able to get. But it's been a great year. It looks like we have in maybe possibly this year if things pan out right, four undisputed bouts are undisputed. Some
Which counting the ladies, we could be up to 6 undisputed bouts this year.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Salute to my brother B House in the building. What's poppin', family?
Definitely gotta shine the light on women's boxing right now.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
women's boxing, but y'all, they going for it. We about to get 2 more women's undisputed belts, and
Nice.
Alicia Bumgarner and
Hmm.
Michaela Mayer, and then we gonna get Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, which gonna be for undisputed. So, shout out to women's boxing. What up, B House? Salute to Detroit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to my brother Leon Robinson. Salute to you, family. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. So we had a great weekend of boxing. As you can see, what the title is or the subject is for this segment is Frank Martin's performance, his win this weekend. What's good with you, Clarence McLean? Salute to you, brother.
Salute,
Yeah,
Clarence.
yes, sir. Um, so yeah, so Frank Martin uh had a pretty solid performance out this weekend. Faced the guy in shit, I forgot his name, but this was the guy that
Jackson
uh,
Marinez.
Jackson Marinas, right? He's the guy who I had beaten Rolando Ramirez. I had him beating him when I watched that fight. I had no clue that this guy was a 5'11", 135 pounder. Man, that's a lot to deal with there.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, 5'11", solid skills. A dog has a decent right hand. Pretty solid fighter. And from what I was able to gather from that performance was, I like it when I see up and coming contenders, fighters that have a lot of promise. I like to see them pushed. I like to see them in fights where it's an actual fight, where it's not, a fight that's a perfect matchup for their style. Because as we know,
Facts.
with a lot of contenders, you know, that's what we tend to see when they're trying to build a fighter. A lot of times they're put in there with matchups that are favorable for them. And I really believe that one of the most dangerous things for a contender is to have uh, a late fill-in substitute opponent. We saw that with Chris Colbert. When you have these late substitute opponents, a lot of times that could really throw things off. You know, And when I saw this guy's height and reach, I said, "Man, this should be interesting. This should be a very interesting fight because if he knows how to use that reach at all, it could pan out to be a difficult fight. Frank Martin is not a tall guy at any stretch of the imagination. He's built like I don't want to say tank because there's only one tank, But I mean, he's a very conditioned, well conditioned athlete, which seems to be, you know, somewhat genetic and a lot from his hard work that he puts in the gym and his dedication. I know that I know he had a fight that was canceled maybe about he was supposed to fight maybe about 3 weeks ago, and he got the call that it was canceled. And I think it was a really good performance. You know, blowout performances a lot of times you can't tell the character of a fighter from a blowout performance. But when a fighter is in something tough where they're tested somewhat, where they don't win every round and they have to figure things out and come through some type of adversity, I always love to see fights like that, and I feel like that is the making of having true character in the ring and building character as a fighter. Um, what's your thought process in that, OTB?
Man, I was really impressed with Frank. Uh, I was more impressed with Jackson, should I say, than I was with Frank because a lot of the times the hype that
Mhm.
we give fighters and us being, media coverage and content creators, a lot of times you can give a fighter more props than they deserve. However, I seen Frank Martin in the amateurs. He fought a kid from Columbus, Ohio named Rasheed Stevens, who a hell of a talent. And he won that bout. But a lot of the problems he had, you can see them trying to fix them. And we always talk about progression of careers. You
Mhm.
understand? What up, G5 Slime? But
Salute to you, G5.
we always talk about progression of careers and how y'all move fighters and the fights that y'all take, and you was just hinting at that. So I
Mhm.
have to apply Derek James and taking this fight on such short notice, and then it being such a tough fighter in the Jackson Martinez, who, as we just said, he's fighting in the pocket away from being great. You understand?
Mhm.
He has a jab like a laser. The kid can move. However, he has head movement problems and he stays on the line. So my problem with him would be he got hit with the same punch Rolly hit him with. You understand? I can't say that Frank Martin's pressure was any more orchestrated than the pressure of a Rolly Ramiro within that fight. You understand? And you continue to take the power shots from that right hand. So all in all, I'm impressed with Frank Martin. I still want us to be, you understand, realistic about his progression. He's 2, maybe 3 fights away from fighting the upper echelon of talent in that division. But all in all, he's with a good trainer and a trainer that I have to trust. You understand? And Derek James. And I'm impressed with the improvements that you can see him making as far as head movement. He didn't have a very active jab. Um, a lot of in the amateurs he was really just very wild, not so much as a lot of that orchestrated body pressure that y'all seen is credit to Derek James. So we give respect where it's due, and also being realistic enough to know that he about 2-3 fights away from being ready.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna call you guys at OTB. I feel like you like a little harsh on uh fighters because and it could be because you're a like a real critic and a real aficionado of the sweet science. But it's like I see guys get hit with punches, and you tend to say like they keep getting hit with like they're taking all these power shots, and I mean it's a fight. I mean you're going to get hit with something.
Well,
We all
yeah,
know that the southpaw. We all
yeah,
know
of
that the
course, Kwame,
southpaw.
you gonna get hit, Brody. But when I say that, I say that on a broader scale scheme of things. That
Okay,
on the broader scale of things, looking at the fighters that he's gonna be fighting, them being bigger punchers.
okay, yeah, because I feel like when it comes to southpaws, I mean they're gonna get hit. That's the punch, that right hand. That straight right. So, I mean, he took a couple punches, but nothing that. I would say that was just super like sloppy or super lax in his defense. I was pretty impressed with. I was actually pretty impressed with his defense. I was pretty impressed with how
Who y'all
he.
talking about, man?
We talking. Salute to you, Goon. We talking
What
about
up, Gone?
Frank Martin.
What's good, fam? What's up, y'all?
We
Salute
talking
to the
about Frank.
panel.
Salute to you too, brother. We talking about Frank Martin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What, what,
I think
I,
that I think that he keeps. I'm impressed by how many shots he actually picks off and how he keeps his hands up and how defensively responsible he is. I think he's not the easiest target to hit. To a lot to do with the positioning of his guard and then also his height and how he's able to move his feet as well. I watched quite a bit of how he back how he could try to keep his distance. That was another thing I was impressed with how
To the
how
top.
he was able to kind of dictate range and distance being a shorter guy when he used his jab. I thought that was pretty impressive as well.
and see,
What was your thought
that's
process on
why
that?
I said that, bro. Before you start cooking, going. That's why I said that though, bro. Is because in the amateurs he didn't have a very active jab. Yeah, I mean
Okay.
he would kind of depend on these instincts to close the distance and to land his shot once he got in the pocket. He's always been a great fighter and a defensively responsible fighter because he got good head movement. But
Okay.
it was the jab for me that you can see Derek James really working with him. And at the same rate, that's also what was detrimental because when he did have a Jackson Martinez hurt, that jab is what was gonna help him place his punches to get him out
Yeah.
of there. And it took him forever.
I could agree with Leon Robinson just put up there too.
He said some don't want to see Colbert in with Frank, but I'd love to see Frank beat the piss out of Colbert. We'll see how he handles the speed. Colbert ain't got the heart, so Frank gonna break him down, I think.
Yeah,
But
his
Yeah.
do
heart is in
Frank
question,
but do
bro.
Frank have but do Frank had a defensive responsibility to deal with them fast hands that Chris Colbert got?
Yeah, he got some
Shout out
fast
to
hands though.
Coach. Everybody go subscribe to Coach at Glove Up Boxing, man. He doing some
Salute,
Okay,
salute to
good
you,
work
coach.
over there.
for sure.
Yep. The glove. Well, let's get it correct. It's glove up, boxing, and more because we absolutely
Fact.
did the more on Friday. OTB, you didn't show up with your
Yeah,
two
man, my old
wives.
ladies, both of them wanted to go out, bro. They wanted to go out. They like, man, you trying to keep me in on the show? We watch you do shows all week. So I had to take
Yeah,
my two
I
ladies
feel you.
out, man.
I could
Yeah,
dig it.
Keon had his lady on there, and my lady came up on there as well. So,
What on the
um,
show?
yeah, coach's
Oh, that's what's
show.
up. That's
Yeah,
what's
his
up.
wife
That's what's
his
up.
wife was there, and yeah,
Yeah, they
it
do a
was actually
couple
a great
show
show.
going.
Yeah, couple show.
Oh, I ain't
Yeah,
know
Yeah, so
about it. I ain't
definitely
know.
yeah. So
show up
it's
with your
called. That's why I said
significant
it's
other.
called. That's why I said it's called Glove Up Boxing and More. So, yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. I don't
I'm
know
gonna
how to.
definitely
I gotta learn
subscribe.
how to
And
do all this.
coach,
How you?
my ace in the hole, man. She say she gotta come by herself so everybody know that she number one. Then when we show up with my
I could
girlfriend,
dig it.
with the
I could dig
girlfriend,
it. I could dig
then
it
yeah, I mean everybody know that that's our girlfriend. So
for
she
sure.
checked me on that shit. I gotta say that.
I'm about to subscribe to Coach right now.
Let me see. Let me see if I could. Hold on one second. Let me see if I could. Uh, pin coaches. If I could pin his channel up here.
What the hell is that?
So let me see
Hold
something
on,
real
fam.
quick. Report. Here we go. Pin. There we go. There we go. I think I got him pinned up there in the chat. So there we go. All right. All right. Yeah, man. So, so Earl Spence is an instigator. I like how he went about promoting. He's actually, you know what? To be quite honest, he's actually a pretty good promoter the way he did things. Because you know, first off,
What?
Rolly is a hell of a person to match up with a fighter because Rolly, even though Rolly got knocked out, Rolly got a lot of fans from that Tank fight. Rolly sold the hell out of that Tank Davis fight, and uh, even though he got stopped, people will line up to see a Rolly presser. I mean, they will.
Facts.
And
Tony Harrison might be the best sellers in fights in boxing.
yeah, Rolly, Rolly's interested. But I would rather, I would rather see Frank Martin versus Chris Colbert than Frank Martin versus Rolly. Me personally. Me,
Elaborate.
me personally. Um, what's your thought process on that, OTB?
I feel like a Rolly might fuck Frank Martin up. I feel like a Rolly might land his punch. You understand? Not to mention,
Really?
let's look at the improvements that Rolly made in the Gervonta Davis fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
He did.
so he's growing as a fighter. Now you bring in a fighter like a Frank Martin who's gonna be there to get hit. You understand? And I did see some not so much as
Mm-hmm.
but he's not the most active fighter. Yeah, I mean, he's not always active. So with that, given the fact that you fighting against a big puncher in a Rolly, I might be
Mm-hmm.
inclined to take Rolly in that fight. Do I like the fight? I love it. I love it. I love it for Frank. I love it for his progression. I love it for I do feel like that's a fight that's worthy of an undercard of a Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. At first
Really?
yeah, I think that can be that big or that good an opening fight. You understand? You open
Okay.
up with Rolly. We know that Rolly is gonna sell that fight. He gonna talk all the
He
shit,
sure is.
and
He
then you
sure
got a
is.
fighter in a Frank Martin who's in the same camp as a Errol Spence. So what this could do for his notoriety, given a good performance, you
Mm.
understand, could be monumental for his career.
Okay.
And as
Okay.
far as Chris Colbert go, I don't feel like he wins that fight. I feel like the lateral movement, fast hands that Chris Colbert have can really cause a fighter like him problems. Cause he kind of had problems with the kid from Columbus, to be honest. You know what I mean? He didn't just watch the kid out. And that kid kind of got a similar style, finesse, flashy in the pocket. And good lateral movement. And I feel like Chris Colbert can really cause a Frank Martin some problems and some regression within his progression that we've seen in his
Okay.
career.
Okay. Well, first off, let's call Primetime Chicken by his correct name. Okay.
Let
His
him
name.
breathe, Debo. Damn, Brooklyn's finest. We know you
Yeah.
Brooklyn's finest, man. Let him breathe, bro.
Nah, Primetime, and that's the sad thing. He from Brooklyn too. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Colbert, I have Chris Colbert. I don't know if he gets stopped. He could get stopped by Frank Martin, but I don't see him winning a fight. He's mentally weak, and
Yeah.
he ain't the same. I don't believe he's gonna be the same fighter getting into the ring after that performance that he had his last fight. And it's not about losing the fight. It's how he went about losing the fight, how he gave up, how he stopped fighting, how he fought to just. It wasn't like he was so hurt where he was just trying to survive. It was just the fact that he didn't even want to engage so he wouldn't get hurt, and he was just trying to make it out of the fight. I don't know if he's. I think Frank Martin. The only reason I don't think Frank. The only reason I that Frank Martin may not stop Chris Colbert is because he might put on his chicken suit again and run around the ring. Me personally, I don't think he could beat Frank Martin.
But with
I,
Frank not being so active, do you feel like he would press the gas pedal enough throughout that fight to stop a Chris Colbert?
yeah, yeah, because um, you know one thing I saw about Frank Martin. There's one thing I noticed about Frank Martin that he does better than Jamel Charlo with Derek James is he actually listens to his corner. When his
Mm.
corner tells him to do stuff, he comes out and he attempts to do it. See, Jamel Charlo, when he's not when things get tough, he normally doesn't come out and make the adjustment if he's fighting one way. Now, if he comes into a rematch and it's been programmed into him to do X, Y, and Z, then he will do that. But if he's doing one thing and then you tell him to do something else during the course of a fight, he doesn't make that adjustment. Now, that was something I watched with the corner and Frank Martin, was that when Frank Martin had a couple rounds that he let get away from him and Derek told him what to do, he went right out there and did it. And actually, one of the announcers had mentioned that. It could have been like the ninth round or the eighth round, but they had mentioned that he came out and did that. I believe that Derek James is the best game planning trainer in the sport right now. Me
Here we
personally,
go.
I do. I think in terms of game planning for opponent. I believe he's the best in the sport. We could now. It's all an opinion about who we think is the best coach in the sport because Nacho Berestein's out there. There's Hall of Fame trainers, guys who's been out there for a while who's put in work.
Right,
You know,
right. Facts.
that's
Pat,
not my
Coach Calvin,
argument because I
Grant.
think that's an opinion. I mean, I think it's all an opinion. But my opinion in terms of game planning coach, I believe Derek James is the best at game planning. And I mean, it can be backed up with, how Charlo has faced his rematches. It it can be backed up by when we watch Earl Spence fight and how he's beating guys, and even though to a lot of people it may look the same, but he's done it in different ways. And Earl Spence is one of those guys, just like Frank Martin, that they actually listen to the game plan and go out there and execute the game plan round by round by instruction. From being in the gym and working on it to round by round instruction. So I truly believe that Frank Martin could beat both of those guys. I don't believe he's ready to step up to uh to the likes of the elites yet. Not as of yet. Maybe another, I would say another 3 fights. Maybe I would say another 3 fights. Allow him to properly progress into I don't want to say into the weight class, but into the competition of the weight class. And I think we could have a special fighter. And Frank Martin is one of those guys. He has a fighting style where I'm not saying I want to see him lose or anything like that, but he has a type of fighting style that even if he lost the fight, I would still want to watch Frank Martin fight. To me, you
I
know,
hear you.
I feel like he has that type of style where it's this. He's the epitome again. I think of a really good blue collar fighter, and I think when you get a real good blue collar fighter who who's like good and solid, the winning and the losing. I mean, you don't want your fighter to lose, but the winning and the losing is not as important as to seeing these guys just perform. And that's how I feel about when I watch Frank Martin. I got you, Coach.
I definitely can agree with that. Yeah, man, I can agree with that. I feel personally like we have to do a better job of supporting fighters when they lose because that's what's gonna help these fighters to take these fights.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to tell Keon and them, but I just was talking to somebody. They gonna let me be a part of an Aaron Pryor documentary that we doing on Aaron Pryor in Cincinnati. Gonna be narrated by Spencer Ware that played for the Chiefs. But but in that process, it just led me to look at he fought a Camacho, he fought Tommy Hearns. You feel me? Like, man, for a fighter to take all of these fights, then that's because they supported them different when they lost. Now we so busy trying to help fighters protect this zero that it scares these fighters from taking the fights that we want to see.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I could definitely agree with that. What's going on, Coach?
What's happening, brothers? How
Salute,
y'all doing?
coach.
Same to you, brother. Same to you.
Salute to you, YSM Sports Media. How you doing, good brother? He says,
Shout out.
Salute YSM, Philly
shout out to Earl
finest.
Spence for carrying negotiations in the right way.
Here
Okay.
we go. We had to wait on his ass. He's supposed to. Shit, we've been waiting on his ass at surgery, flipping Lambos. You supposed to do the leg work.
Oh Lord.
Here we
Hey.
go. Here we go. Here we go. TB. YSM if you want the YSM if you want the link is pinned. Is pinned. So if you want to hop on, the link is pinned. So if you could elaborate on what you mean about carrying the negotiations in the right way, and then you also said 100% right. So if you could elaborate on what you're talking about with that. Dalton Voss says Loma destroys Frank Martin. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the only reason I
You
say
said
I
you don't
don't
know.
know, the only reason I say I don't know, because the word destroys is a strong word, is because Loma is not like a super elite fighter at 135. At 130, I would say yeah, you're right. But Loma looked real. He looked real mortal to me at 135. So, but I'm inclined to say that at this particular point in time, I believe Lomachenko probably could win that fight at this particular point in time, just because of level of experience, the big fights he's been in. And Frank Martin is still he's still a contender. He hasn't even had a world title shot yet. And I said I don't believe he'll be ready, for that, maybe for another three fights. I would say three fights minimum. You know, you you
Yeah, I
you want
agree.
yeah, you want your fighter. You don't want to just throw your fighter out there, you know, just out there and get him ruined. You want to, a good part of being a team for a fighter is making sure you have the right plan for him.
Matchmaking. Matchmaking.
Yeah, matchmaking. Yep, matchmaking. Yep. And yeah, I mean Frank is, Lomachenko has skills, and like I said, I wouldn't disagree with you on that. But at 135, Lomachenko, he ain't God. At 135, 130
I think
different story. 135, don't not so much.
I think a couple more fights like he had Saturday are doing good versus putting him in there with somebody that he ain't go get nothing out of and learn nothing out of in there. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep. I agree. What's going on, Jamil?
Oh, what's good, Kwame?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. So, your two comments. You said shout out to Earl for carrying the negotiations in the right way. If you could elaborate on that, and then you also said you're 100% right. If you could elaborate on those two comments.
Um, the 100% right thing was fighters taking losses is still being supported. He was 100% right about that. A lot of
Yeah.
times we get mad at the fighters for avoiding certain fights, but that's because they know if they take a loss, then all of a sudden they bums, they washed up, they hype jobs and this and that, and then their money goes down. But if we
Mhm.
say we want to see the best fight the best, we got to expect somebody to lose, right?
Right. I
All
agree.
right. And then the second thing with Earl, bro, I don't expect us to get that fight this year.
What?
I'm my expectations. Nah,
Oh,
I
don't
I,
say
I
that.
would. Yeah, man. Yeah. It, if we get it this year, I'll be surprised.
Don't say
I
that,
would be.
bro.
I would be pleasantly surprised.
But Earl just said
Why you say that, bro?
2 days
I
ago
would
that
be
it's
ple-
gonna happen.
I would be pleasantly surprised. Shouts out to Earl Spence for carrying negotiations in the right way, staying optimistic.
Wow. 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 Well, hey, I this is the fight that boxing wants to see. So hopefully we can see it. We can
This is
see it this year.
this is a fight that boxing wants to see. This is a fight that a dude that said what he was going to do and is actually effectively trying to do that. And you have other people that I'm gonna call it capping, because you claim that this is what you want, but effectively you are not carrying it in that manner. So I'm not going to say any names or whatnot, but it is worse than what I thought. It's worse than our last conversation.
Damn.
Bad. It's bad.
Damn. Wow. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. We'll jump on that a little bit later. I want to stay on.
Yeah.
Frank
We
Martin
gonna
right
wait
now.
to stir that pot. We ain't gonna stir that pot
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
You almost got me, bro. You almost got me,
you
bro.
made
I
something
was
in my
about to dive
stomach
in the
drop a
ocean.
little bit with that one, because I'm just so looking forward, to that fight. That's like a highlight of 2022. But yeah, I think now as Earl Spence as a promoter, right? I think the way he went about trying to promote Frank Martin after his win was actually genius. You know, he did it in such a genius way where I think if Earl Spence, the businessman, would want Frank Martin to fight Rolly, because Rolly, just a fight with Rolly would help catapult him a little bit in terms of, you know, casual fans to a certain extent, just the casuals, checking in on the fight because of Rolly and you know just Rolly's character and how he promotes a fight. But but I think the fighter in Earl Spence wants him to fight Chris Colbert, because Chris Colbert has always talked trash about Earl Spence, has always picked against him in every single fight. And I think Earl Spence, after seeing Chris Colbert take that loss, I think he wants Frank Martin to go out there and whoop him some more and use him as a stepping stone to move up in the ranks at 135. So
Hey,
go ahead, YSM.
hey, Quam. I was going to say, actually, Rolly's a harder fight for Frank Martin and Chris Colbert.
I believe so too.
Um, Chris Colbert showed that he will give up in a fight.
Yep.
That fight will be at 35, which is Frank's a much bigger man. Colbert will be moving up. With Frank's style, Frank would just make it a war of attrition.
Yep.
And if you give up, put it like this: if you give up one time, the second time is even easier.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, he even got Ryo to fight. I don't know if you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like potentially 3 options. It could be back-to-back fights for Frank Martin that are all fights that will raise his profile. So I felt like he did a real good job.
Yep. Did a really good job, and how he did it. I mean, because it was basically a call out to Chris Colbert, through
That's
social.
some bullshit. We ain't gonna respect that shit. Chris Colbert is a 130-pound fighter. Bullshit.
Terrence Crawford is 135.
Call him out for. I'm just saying, shit. He not even fighting in that weight division.
No, he was already moving up.
Credit for trying to make a fight happen with a fighter that ain't even in that weight division.
No, he's already moving up though. He's already moving up.
Who, Colbert?
Yeah, Colbert. Colbert is actually looking at fighting Zachary Ochoa.
Cause Colbert turned down Albert Bell.
Who the fuck wouldn't?
Yeah,
beat the dog shit out of Chris, bro.
Yeah, good point.
Hey coach, what was your thoughts on the fight this weekend?
I think Frank looked pretty good. I think your boy has horrible Ray Vargas. I think he has horrible balance. I think he needs to get his legs stronger. He boxed pretty good though. I give him that, and he kept that long ass jab. Man, he's huge for that weight, bro. For 126, he's a big ass 126. It's kind of like I it's kind of like I don't know how he make 126. Fuck, I think I was in fifth grade, sixth grade when I was 126 pounds. Seventh grade,
Damn.
like like
Shit, I was in the
man,
ninth, coach.
Big as hell.
I had to try and make 130 pounds. You had to play varsity as a freshman. In Ohio, you can't play varsity as a freshman unless you weigh 130 pounds.
Oh
I think
So
wow.
I
I
was
was
in
on steak and
seventh.
potatoes and peanut butter diet.
Yeah, I think I was seventh grade. I was 126. Eighth grade maybe. But god damn, bro, that's a big old dude. But his balance, man, even when McSayo was trying to, he was just trying to throw the right hand and he would get off balance like bad. Even when he would loop around his head, that's how come he kept falling in the fight. Not even when he was, he got hit with that right hand and got crumbled, but before that, he was falling around the ring a lot. And I was like, man, what's wrong with his legs? I mean, he was doing good boxing and he kept that long jab. Messiah is he's a one hit pony, bro. Like he's he constantly looking for the right hand. That's it. If you can take him out the right hand and keep the jab in his face and catch him and he leans forward and catch him because he ate a couple uppercuts. Well, I was like he should have threw him more when he would lunge in, but that fight was okay. Frank looked good. I disagree with OTB talking about Rolly would beat him. He don't have a shot. Not a shot. The skill level,
Okay.
not a shot. Now, I mean, Rolly is dangerous. Of course, he's always dangerous because he punches hard. But the skill level is going to beat it. Just like with Jackson Marinez did to him. He boxed the shit out of him, but this time it might hurt a lot more with Frank. And we don't know how Rolly head is going to react now that he's been knocked out once. And I mean, he was knocked the fuck out. Like he was hurt bad, bro. Like he didn't know what was going on until he got back in the locker room.
Damn.
So I mean, it's honestly he had to
Yeah,
look
that's a
at
good point, coach.
you know. So him taking shots from Frank Martin, I don't think I would put him in that fight right away if I was Floyd because it's not going to be a good look for him. The
No.
skill level is there. He has flaws that can be corrected, and I think they're gonna
Facts.
go over it. And I think that Derek James is going to he's going to make those corrections for Frank. You,
Yep.
you know,
Well, let's. Oh, my bad, coach. Go ahead.
I think that he took too many right hands that he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have been able. Jackson shouldn't have been able to hit him with those right hands as easy as he did in a couple exchanges, or just straight off the bat, he would just step a little left and throw the right hand, and he was catching him. I think that he's given at times he gives too much of his body. In other words, he need to turn a little more sideways when he get in certain positions to where you can't hit him with the straight right hand. He
Rotate
got
the
to get his
wrong
head
way,
up.
coach. Yeah, he
Huh?
rotate the wrong. He rotate into the line,
Yeah,
and
yeah, right. Sometimes that's what I'm saying. He squares up a little bit where he don't need to, So that's why he was getting caught. But you got to give Jackson Marinez his props because of the fact that he took that fight on 9 days' notice.
Yeah.
So
It looked like he was definitely training.
right, but he still wasn't in full camp shape. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So you got to take that into account and shout out to him because man, he put up a good fight
He
for as
did.
long as it lasted. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Especially in the situation he was in against a very good fighter. You know, I think that he has some work to do. Is he on? I just dropped a video about that whole situation. Is he ready for the Tank Davises, the Devin Haney's, and
No.
no, I don't see him being ready. Not quite yet. I don't think that would be a good idea to put him in there right now with those guys. because I just don't feel he's ready for that level yet.
Not
But
yet.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach.
he's getting there though. Don't
Right.
don't get me wrong. He's getting there,
Hey,
and he's gonna be a hell of a fucking force to reckon with because he's very athletic, he's very strong, and he's explosive. So we'll see, man. You know.
Yeah, his
I got
trajectory
a great
is high.
co-host.
What's
Hey,
up?
coach,
I got
what?
a gripe, like right now, man. We crediting Derrick James with fixing all of these problems that these fighters have. And it just dawned on me, all of them had the same fucking problem.
Mm.
And he ain't fixed nan one.
Wait.
EJ can't get his head off the line. Jermell can't get his head off the fucking line.
Mm.
You know,
Frank
it's
can't
amazing
get
that
his
you say
head
that,
off the
though.
line.
It's amazing you say that though, OTB. You keep
Real
saying that,
shit.
but yeah, you keep saying that, but these dudes keep beating top motherfuckers and winning, bro.
Yeah, they are, but
They
they
still
not
don't-
beating
they still
the
don't punch
top
fuck up the
motherfuckers.
offense.
So that you could get away with that shit when you fighting B level talent. You ain't getting away with that shit
So
at A
Errol
level.
Spence been fighting B-level
B
talent.
level talent. Come on now.
Come on, stop
He
that.
ain't fighting the best.
Let's just
Come
break.
on now, let's
break
be
it down
honest.
then. Let's just break it down then.
So
Let's.
Who has he been not a favorite against?
Oh shit!
well,
Better
I
you say it than me, Gon.
well,
I mean,
I
I didn't
think
even want to get on
I
this
got
subject.
some
I mean,
else
I think
today.
when that question is asked, I feel like that's a loaded question because
I'm just going off what Vegas said, sir.
when you're a top fighter or you're a top pound for pound fighter, you're normally going to be the favorite against everyone you fight. That's like saying, okay, uh, Canelo is normally favored. He's normally the favorite in every fight, but that doesn't mean he hasn't fought anybody because he's the favorite. He's just that good. We could say the
Did he
same thing
say
about
that?
Terrence.
Okay. So
We could
what
say
you
the same
saying
thing
is
about
loaded.
Terrence
Go ahead,
Crawford.
Gon.
So check it. So what you
Hey,
saying is loaded because if you go fight by fight, and it's the research is free, and you'll go and see like I feel what you're saying like if it was like 55, you know what I'm saying? But these numbers are 7-1, 9-1, 8-1. Like, bro, that like come on, bro. If it was
And you
closer,
gonna
I could
tell me
agree with
that's
what you're saying,
his
Kwame.
talent level? That's an
hey,
equal talent level with those
hey,
eyes.
Bro,
hey,
we
coach,
just
let me ask you a question. Where are you from?
I'm from New Orleans.
All right. Have you noticed that all Texas fighters seem to fight the same way? Like all Texas black guys?
Facts.
All
Facts
Texas
wise
what?
him.
That all Texas, there's like a black Texas fighter style, right? I noticed it like Terry Norris,
Like a
Charlo,
oh,
You
Spence.
gotta understand why that happened.
Yeah, I'm asking you why.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them fight the same, but they got a lot of them that do. It's because they take a Mexican style and give it a little brother flavor. You understand what I'm
Preach,
saying?
coach.
Okay, okay,
They
okay.
give it a little brother flavor, and so it's not like exactly Mexican style just come forward, but they add a little more athleticism to it.
I can
You
see
see
that.
what I'm
I can see that. Yeah.
because they
I can see
train you in Texas and especially the gym R&R where Errol come from. I mean, that was mostly Mexicans in there. So you sparring those guys, plus you got that athleticism. So you develop a style that's more black, but got a little aggression with it, the way Mexicans fight. In other words,
And it's
so
Okay.
you
based
got
off balance and not it's based off balance and being able to receive the punch and not getting your head off the line and slipping or rolling the punch is what he mean when he say Mexican style. That's an exchange type of style. I'm gonna take your punch to land mine.
but they don't.
Right.
But because
Great point, coach.
they don't really do that too much though. They more or less they using their gloves to block. They turn to the side, but they still continue to stay in position and throw punches. See, this is the thing that Errol Spence does great. There's not too often. It's not too often that he's out of position to punch. You very seldom see him off balance. Very seldom. You know, it happens, but it doesn't happen as frequently as you see it with a lot of other fighters. He's always in position to punch. He mirrors his work. And what I mean by that is when a guy moving to the side on him, he's moving exactly with him. So you're not going to be able to, you don't have to, what they call cut off the ring. If you look at the way they work pads, and you saw a lot of Errol Spence and a little sloppier with Frank Martin.
Frank Martin, yep.
You saw a little bit of it in there. Frank Martin looked like Gary Russell to me up in there, to be honest with you, a bigger Gary Russell.
I said that to somebody too. I said that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They use a lot of they don't as much slip with their head. They'll duck, but they block a lot of shots with their gloves because the way they train is soon as they release a punch, the other hand is staying at their face, and the other one is getting back as fast as it can to protect that side where the punch was thrown. So that's the way they fight, and it's a little Mexican style mixed with a black style because of the athleticism and the abilities to protect themselves.
And it's high IQ as well. You understand? Because to do that, y'all, you got to control the line and you got to control the lead hand. You know what I mean? So I got to give the credit where it's due. I'll never disrespect the sport enough to not get a credit where it's due. However, it's just based off a volume to decline for that lack of head movement.
Well, Errol don't, Charlo don't fight like that though. Jamel is not a high volume puncher, and he doesn't come forward a lot.
Jamel put a lot of pressure on you just from walking down on you, and that's from, you understand, he makes you react to him just being in your space. Adrian Bronner used to do that.
Yeah, but
George Foreman used to do that, where they get forward. Exactly where they walk down on you, and then you feel like it's a necessity to react to their pressure when they haven't thrown a punch. You understand? And as much as that's a credit, it's a detriment because we see Jermell Charlo too get outboxed by high level IQ boxers, and that's the only thing about that style.
I mean, you saw that one time, and
that's the only high level boxer he fought. What other boxer did he fight?
I mean, you act like Castano is a bum, bro. He's not a bum.
No, but Castano is a pressure fighter.
Be different. Yeah.
But Castano is a pressure fighter. He out pressures, he outworks his fighter. Yeah, I mean, it's not an orchestrated high IQ pressure. It's a butterfly style. You understand that he want to close the distance without any pressure. You understand? Without a jab or anything. He just gonna come in there and deal with it once he get there. So when I say that, I mean, shit. We got to go back, like we got to go back to Austin Trout to think about a high IQ boxer that Jermell Charlo beat.
Yeah,
but you got to look at. I mean, he bust Lubin up early. Lubin
a big puncher. He's not a boxer, coach.
But the thing is, he can box. But the thing is, you got to look at also everything they do they do it behind a jab. The most important part of boxing.
But Lubin started boxing later too, y'all, after the knockout. Coming up, we respect Lubin got all of that credit because of his power. And because he was so damn much bigger than everybody at that weight.
Well, I'm talking about their style, especially coming from the left side, like with Frank Martin and Errol Spence. You can see the way they use their gloves to parry a lot of shots. And because 9 out of 10 times they're on the other side, and they have, that the front hand is always with the other guy's front hand when they fighting a fighter who's orthodox. So,
facts, coach. But in that, they both take right hands.
Yeah, but when you say they take right hands, real quick, Jamil, when you say they take right hands, I don't see these guys with all this for them to be taking right hands, which is the power punch for an orthodox fighter. These guys don't have much damage on them after the fights are over.
Well,
they're not fighting big punchers either, Kwame.
No, but you got to also look at it this way, OTB. This is how you have to look at it. When you see a guy crank a punch with his right hand and smash somebody coming in, then that punch, that right hand is effective. But you see, they'll take shots that's coming straight from the jaw, and it's just a right hand, almost like a jab instead of a sit
Right,
down on
right,
you. You
right.
understand? So
Exactly.
they get hit with that because it's a shorter and faster punch, but it's not as hard because they're not twisting as hard to try to really land
Exactly.
that punch
I,
hard
Yo,
because you
I
I know
can't.
agree. But
I
fighting a
noticed that
bigger puncher,
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, but you gotta crank it. You ain't
night
gonna
night.
catch them with that one. The one with the fucking that's gonna crank that bitch and let that hoe fly hard.
Go ahead,
hey,
You
hey,
YSM.
get that
hey,
Night
stabbing,
night.
they'll get that stabbing right hand because it's a lot faster. But the other ones, they gonna either slip it or they gonna block it because it takes too long. That's what I'm saying. The
Go
hey,
ahead,
backhand
hey,
or the
coach,
right
YSM.
hand. Yes,
coach, I've noticed that people have the tendency to, just because a guy boxes on the outside, they all of a sudden say that he has a high IQ, and the guy that comes forward doesn't. I noticed that that's like it's I feel like that's a misconception in boxing. It
right.
takes a lot of IQ to stalk a guy, set traps, and get inside, get to the body. Not everybody that fights outside is like, this high IQ chess player. And the dudes that fight inside is, this dumb come through, walk down bruiser. Now, I'm
I
not
mean,
saying Spence and them have, superb IQs or the best IQs I've ever seen. But in order to get some of that shit off, you gotta be thinking.
just
Because
think about it. James Tony was the best inside fighter I ever seen. Straight up and down. James Tony is the best inside fighter I ever seen.
Fact.
And he would invite your ass to fight him on the inside. And he could fight on the outside. I've seen James Tony, especially when he was like 160, box his ass off.
where would
But
you rank Duran, coach, as far as inside fighters that you've seen?
Duran was more of a mid-range fighter. He wasn't really a inside fighter. But he can fight inside. That motherfucker was
Now
he's a bad
Camacho, I
motherfucker.
got Camacho up there. I got Camacho in my top 3 in the pocket.
In the pocket, Camacho?
Yeah.
He ain't had no his problem was he ain't had no crack, and he was more of a boxer.
Yeah, he
Like I
couldn't
can
hit hard, but Camacho could fight his ass off.
Yeah,
And
but
Alexis
he was a
Aguero.
range fighter, just like when he fought one of my homeboys, who actually he had retired when I was training, Melvin Paul. He fought him he stayed on the outside and he beat Melvin Paul on the outside. So Camacho, his problem was he didn't have no crack, but his IQ was high. He came from the left side, but he can box on the outside. He boxed on the outside a lot better, especially when he was younger. Now, when he got older, he slowed down and he had to kind of fight on the inside. But nah, man, you got to go back and watch some old fights, bro. Like old fights, and you'll see when he was young, he stayed on the
Yeah,
outside.
I just watched him fight Aaron Pryor. Like watch the whole fight with Aaron Pryor brother. Because we was looking at this, they gonna let me be a part of the Aaron Pryor documentary. So I really gained a lot of respect for Camacho after I watched them
Aaron
fights
Pryor
and
was a
him
bad
fighting. And
motherfucker.
Aaron Pryor was a bad motherfucker in the pocket too. But
But Aaron Pryor didn't give a fuck. Like Aaron Pryor you talk about extreme pressure fighter. That is an extreme pressure fighter. Never stop throwing punches. It's he and to be honest with you, he wasn't the best at fucking slipping punches and all of that shit. He was decent, but that motherfucker just never stopped, bro. He was like motherfucker was
Is
like the
that with or
Tasmanian
without the
devil,
asthma
bro.
tablets, though, coach?
Huh?
Is that with or without the asthma tablets?
I don't know if it's with the asthma tablets, not with the asthma tablets. All I know is that motherfucker was high volume, Jack. And
that motherfucker was gonna fight.
He'd be on your ass, Jack.
And then Sugar Ray Robinson, George Benton, like shit. There's some fighters that could fight in the pocket for real. That George Benton motherfucker, boy. Y'all get some time. Go watch him.
Oh yeah, George Benton was nice, bro.
Man, what? Slick. I'm talking about one of the slickest motherfuckers you ever. Pernell Whitaker. That was my favorite.
I'm gonna go back even further. Go and look at Percy Pugh. I know y'all probably don't know who that is. He was a number one contender for like 10 years and never got a chance to fight for a title.
Wait, say his name again, sir.
Percy Pugh.
Percy Pugh. Okay, I'm gonna look
Yeah,
at
he's still alive. Matter of fact, and he was one of my trainers.
Oh,
Him,
I bet you he and I was talking about that on my show, man. That's a lot of y'all don't like all of these belts, but it's people like Percy Pugh that's the reason that we have all of these interim belts and shit. Because back then these divisions were so stacked that you might not never get a chance
it wasn't that. It was
like
more. Due
Charlie
to,
Burley.
it was more due to racism than anything because he fought way back in the day, bro. He was.
Yeah, I'm just saying that on a broader scale of things,
Yeah,
coach. You know what I mean? As far as
yeah,
a lot of people complain about all of these belts, but back then, shit, you could be a contender, you could be a person's mandatory, and they ain't gotta fight you. Shit, they was fighting who they want. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard ain't never fight Aaron Pryor.
yeah. Person couldn't crack an egg, but that motherfucker box your eyeballs out your head, bro. And get knocked down, get his little ass up, and get back at it, bro. You gotta watch them if you can find it. You know, we had reels and shit. So, man, that shit was crazy, bro. The man, and then they used to fight so often. It wasn't none of this 5-6 months later and all. No. Them motherfuckers got it in. And my other trainer, he passed away. He fought Tony, I think at the time was shit. I think he was 61 and something. He lost to Carlos Monzon. Yep. He lost to Monzon in a title shot. Yep. Dude he was a bad boy, bro. And that motherfucker used to smoke cigarettes and everything and fight, bro. And go 15 rounds. I'll be like, damn, bro.
Yeah, Aaron Pryor too.
Hey,
They said
what
that
you think of
motherfucker.
Nicolay Locha?
Huh?
I said, what you think of I hope I said his name right. Nicolay Locha? Loche? I think he's like a Italian dude. Real slippery on the inside.
I don't know him.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you have to give me somebody that he fought for me to
No,
have some type of
no, dude,
No.
he kind of fought like Floyd.
visual memory.
Kind of fought like Floyd, Georgie
Talking about
Bennett,
Willie
like,
Pastrana?
huh? Nah.
Willie Pastrana?
Nah. This is Nicolay Locha.
Oh, no, I don't know him. Willie
They call him
Pastrana.
Mr. Untouchable.
Willie Pastrana was a bad boy. You know,
No,
you talking about
OTB.
old
OTB.
fight.
What up?
I still wanna address what you were saying about the Derek James fighters and them all taking right hands and damage and all those things. So I got
Yeah, go ahead,
I'm
cook. Go ahead, cook.
I'm gonna pull up a couple pictures here for you. All right. This is Manny Pacquiao after the Dennis Ugas fight. This is after the Dennis Ugas fight. This is what
Is you
Manny Pacquiao.
Dennis who gets a big puncher?
But that's my point, right? Because you said when I said Earl has no damage at these fights, you said, well, are these guys big punches? Well, look at what Manny Pacquiao looked like after the Dennis Ugas fight, cut under both eyes, and we both know that in that fight, Manny Pacquiao was getting hit with what was he getting hit with all the time from Ugas? A bunch of right hands.
Right hands.
Right
Yep.
hands.
Took right hand after right hand.
Right
and
hand
in the
after right
pocket.
hand. Right. So then we're gonna take a look at Sean Porter after you Dennis Ugas fight. Same deal. Busted up on both sides. One thing I could say with this Sean Porter fight, there wasn't a bunch of headbutting going on in this fight. Busted lip, busted mouth, all these things. And then we'll go take a look at Errol Spence after you Dennis Ugas fight. So there's a huge difference. And a lot of times what I try to understand when you say that is like, if he's getting hit with all of these right hands, and it's such a problem,
Why you ain't show the Porter fight?
Why the fuck you
Porter-
wouldn't fix it if we
Porter-
all know that
Porter
it's a
wasn't
problem
hitting-
he had since the amateurs?
Porter wasn't hitting.
But you
Errol
know how
Spence
they
with
fixed it?
Spence face was busted up,
With
man.
yeah,
I mean,
but
not
Porter wasn't hitting Spence with a bunch of right hands.
true. He was hitting with both hands.
Right.
Damn
So,
sure was.
right.
And he caught him with his share of right hands. We ain't gonna act like he didn't.
Yeah.
He caught him with a fair share of right hands.
But again, Goon, there's only one fight that you could bring up where you could say you saw like damage on Errol Spence's face?
Well,
Yeah,
Even
man.
it ain't the damage that those fighters are giving him that we're looking at that comment and context to. It's the damage that the person he fighting is gonna give him if he continue to take that punch that allow me to know that this is a problem.
but I, I mean, unless this guy has like some type of bionic skin, and according to Goonie, don't, because we saw in the Porter fight he had damage. Then I'm to me, all I can surmise from this is that his defense ain't as bad as you making it out to be. Because all these guys are orthodox fighters, and we're seeing what these fighters are doing to other fighters, and the amount of damage they're inflicting on these guys.
Oh, please, you just showed me a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao. And
Oh,
you just showed me Sean Porter, who don't have no power to hurt nobody. This man ain't stopping shit.
but my
At
point
his
is,
best.
right?
At
But
his best.
I hear you.
So,
I hear you on
and
that.
then we talking about a Danny Garcia who power didn't make it up to 147.
Mhm.
So when it comes to big punchers, there's no denial in the fact that he's yet to see anybody that can hurt him.
OTB, how many knockouts Danny got at 147?
0.
Zero.
Wait,
That's
no.
not
He
true.
does have knockouts. That's not
You
true.
know, he got
knocked
one. He
out,
got Ivan Redcatch.
Nah,
No, he didn't knock
he
out
didn't
Ray
knock out.
Cash.
He
He
did.
knocked out.
He knocked
He
out
knocked out Samuel
Granados.
Vargas. He
Uh-huh.
knocked out Granados, and he knocked out Brandon Rios.
Right. Yep. All guys those are all guys who moved up, though, right?
Yep.
Brandon Rios is
Every one of them.
So it kind of goes back to my point when I was saying how Vegas do the odds or whatever, man. Like Earl was a bigger favorite in those fights, not taking anything away from him because he got to beat the person that's in front of him. But this is going to be a closer fight where it won't be those odds, won't be like how Buzz is too in most fights, 7-1, 8-1, 9-1. It's going to be closer.
Right.
And
that's
we should
what
be
makes the
happy
fight a
about
great
that.
fight.
You know what I'm saying? We should be
Yeah.
happy about that
Yeah.
because of the
That's
fact
what makes the
that
fight a great fight.
I have
That's what
not
makes it a
bet
great fight.
against neither of those dudes in none of the fights that they had. 'Cause I feel like they was going to win all those fights, not taking
Right.
none against the fighters that they fought.
Right. No, I agree. OTB, my point is why I brought up the Ugas, all of Ugas's opponents when they fought him, is that Ugas is known for having a really good right hand. Out of all the welterweights, we could say that Ugas probably has one of the best and most versatile right hands out of the top welterweights, just as a
Well,
signature
yeah,
punch.
you say that you just seen him all the first 4 rounds of the Errol Spence fight. He showed you every one of them. How versatile they is. He showed you how he land them, how to set his feet up before he throw them. He was landing them motherfuckers at will.
I don't know about that. I know he was landing a jab to the body on Earl Spence. He was countering Earl Spence's jab
Nah,
with a
brother.
jab to the body in the beginning, but I don't know about him catching Earl Spence with right hands at will. Because if he was catching him with right hands
Caught
at
him with
will,
uppercut. He caught him with the right uppercut. He
did.
caught him with
He
the
caught him with
straight
Yeah,
right.
he
He
ain't
caught
had
him,
nothing on it
man. He
though.
caught his ass with what he wanted with that
he ain't
right
had nothing on
hand,
it
bro.
though. He
Yeah,
ain't had
exactly.
nothing
He
on
just
it,
ain't had nothing on it.
I don't know about him. I'm not sure
Hey,
about him
OT,
catching
it's
him
the
with
fight. Yo, you going to get hit with some
right. It's
shit.
just like
Yes, I'm not saying that you ain't gonna get hit, y'all. We know that you gonna get hit. My problem is the fact that there is a set of breadcrumbs set. The breadcrumbs there. If everybody, goddamn it, have success doing something, then you going against a fighter who we all can agree is a much bigger puncher than everybody that we name. You know why?
but-
Because he stop every damn bite.
all right,
So that means that
look,
his punch placement and his persistence with what he does is a counter for exactly the point that I'm making. When I say that
so
he
are we gonna talk
continues
about
to eat
Bud
them
not being
punches.
able to fight? Are we gonna talk about Bud not being able to stop a jab out of the orthodox stance?
Yes, we can talk about that too,
All right,
bro.
then let's
And
talk
I'm
about
not
that.
gonna deny that.
Let's talk
I'm not
about
gonna
it,
deny
then,
that.
baby. Let's talk about it.
So we denying what my man saying and moving on, or I mean,
You
what are we
understand?
doing?
Exactly.
We going
As
to tip the
me,
tat or
long
like
as we
I
can,
this
said,
shit
as long
really
as
not
we can
happening?
no.
admit to the
I
facts,
never
then
said
this
I
can
never
be a
said that he don't get.
conversation.
I
But if
never
we
said
can't
that he
admit
don't
to
get
the
hit with
facts,
things.
this
Like,
ain't no
what y'all
conversation.
Which southpaw don't get hit with straight rights?
They all should.
Right.
They all do. So
Yeah.
like it's not like it's a news flash, but not being able to parry a jab out of the orthodox stance. Are we go as long as we talk about that right after? I'm good.
Go ahead and say that is it is the best jab in the division too. We gonna get a respect that is due, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a jab. It's a jab.
Yeah,
The
but
most important punch in boxing.
It's a jab. The most important punch in boxing. But at that volume, and we talking about a fighter who his best characteristic is his timing. So if somebody show you something 80 times, goddamn it, how many is gonna take you to time it? I don't give a fuck how pretty it is.
When's the last time he fought a southpaw?
I'm just saying.
I asked you a question.
Saying we can say that about both fighters, man.
Yeah, you're right. So
exactly.
So the fact that we're trying to thank you, sir. The fact that you're trying to use other fights.
No, I'm not using no other fight, bro. I'm using the fact that it's consistent.
I said the fact that you're trying to use other fights, right? When you know your guy's best stance is in southpaw, so he's not going to be able to land that straight right in the southpaw stance because that straight right is going to be a jab. So you even bringing up the straight right is irrelevant. True.
Do my fighter only fight in one stance?
Okay,
your fighter only
bro.
No, he don't.
You're right,
yes,
but your fighter only
something
fights
that
well
you're
in
gonna
one
have
stance.
to deal with.
Your fighter only fights well in one stance. True or not true?
No, that's not accurate, bro.
Not true, man.
Stop.
That's not accurate.
That's the narrative
bro.
that everybody's running with right
come
now.
On,
he
man.
wouldn't be where he at if he couldn't do that. Come on, man. Come on. Don't big up one and trash the other.
Only thing
man. That's why I said, bro. If we can admit to the facts, it's a conversation.
But let's look.
His only adjustment is switching southpaw.
It's a fact.
Like, are we not going to acknowledge what's true? He is a southpaw fighter that can fight fucking orthodox.
Yep.
I can admit to that because we know that he can fight orthodox. Therefore, it's something that you have to deal with.
Every time you seen him struggle, what stance is he?
Bro, this shit is crazy, bro.
What's crazy about it? It's the truth.
What's crazy about it?
I'm not admit to the fact, bro. We know that he had problems dealing with a jab. Me and Kwame done been like, bro, like that's why, I mean, y'all got to go back in the receipts. You feel me? And me and Kwame done been on record and me asking him, bro, would you rather be worried about a jab or a power punch? My assessment is for my fighter, I would be worried about a power punch. Because we can deal with the jab within the course of that fight. We could deal with that instinctively. You understand that a power punch that you consistently get hit with throughout your career, and I ain't had a reason to fix it. If I'm your trainer, I can't be trained.
Don't see that, but that's why I brought this up, was because I just don't see that. I don't see where he's consistently getting hit with the same punch over and over to where it's just like people are game playing. It's like, oh, Earl Spence, he gets hit with right hands. Like, we know he can get hit with that right hand. We're not seeing multiple fighters exploit this in him. So because you see him hit with a right hand,
it's not just him getting hit with the right hand. It's the fact that he continue to stay on the line.
I'm gonna hold your feet to the. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire.
He's not on the line, OTB. That's where you're wrong.
Man, what do you mean, Coach? He has a problem staying on the line. He don't get his fucking head off the line.
You gotta look at. Listen, one day, me and you, I'm gonna come on your channel and we're gonna sit down.
Man, you tell me when, Coach. You the OG. You tell me when.
Whenever you
pick the fight, and when
or you can come on my channel
and we just gonna go in, man, because me and Coach. Yeah, I mean, and that's the good thing about boxing, y'all, is that we can all, that shit like the Bible. You can all look at it and everybody see some different shit.
But then when I show you what he did, I'm gonna break it down and show you, okay, and we're gonna slow it down and we're gonna say, this is what he did there. Look what he's doing. He's not necessarily has his head on the line because he's not squared up. That's number one. Earl Spence, only time he's squared up is when you're in a serious defensive posture where he's beating on your body and you are trying to defend yourself.
So,
Now,
coach, what does he do wrong?
everybody
I mean,
make
he just do
mistakes
This
in
shit
everything.
is
boxing.
I just
crazy to
asked you.
me.
Hold on,
Come
I
hold
on,
on.
really,
coach. You
I'm gonna
better than
tell you.
this.
I'm gonna tell you. He makes mistakes, but the thing is, minimizing mistakes is how you win fights because everybody makes mistakes.
that's
Every
my whole point.
fighter makes
That's my whole
mistakes
point. Because
in
sometimes it
boxing.
don't sound like he can make no mistakes in that.
No, no,
Whether
no,
No,
it's
no,
a
no, no.
mistake,
I'm gonna
man,
hold your
it's a
feet to the fire on this
consistency
one,
in
Goons.
his
It
game,
sounds
man.
like
I just want to get a chance to
no,
burn
it
a little
sounds
bit,
like
bro.
when
Every
people
fucking
are saying
fight, you can go
anything
to him
positive about
staying
Errol
there
Spence,
watching a
you go,
punch.
No, no,
what
no.
does
This
I'm
he
not
do
man
saying that,
move
bro.
wrong?
legs.
Or
No, only
I'm just
thing
trying
I'm
to get a chance
Eating
to
that
burn a little
no,
bit.
motherfucker.
listen to what I'm saying. The only thing I'm saying is this: every fighter makes mistakes in a fight. Minimizing your mistakes is how you win fights. Now, Errol
of
makes
course,
mistakes sometimes. Sometimes, just like he said, sometimes he don't get his head off the line like he should, or he'll square up and get caught with the right hand. And 9 times
Facts.
out of 10 is when he's coming in. Now, they both make mistakes. All of them make mistakes. All
Every
fighters
fighter
make
make
mistakes.
mistakes.
But the problem is, the thing is breaking down a frequency of break and
A
making these
consistency.
mistakes, right? And adjusting
adjustments to the
immediately
mistake.
when you recognize that mistake, immediately stopping it from happening again.
Yep, and I
And
think
these
that's
Adjustment.
one
this
of the
is what
things.
makes Bud good, and this is what
Adjustments.
makes Arrows good.
Yep, and I think
Arrow
that's
good.
one of the
I
things.
agree with you, coach. I agree with you.
I think that's one
Facts.
of the things that's
Adjustments.
severely over. I believe that's one of the things that's severely overlooked with Earl Spence because of his style of fighting. People think,
Right.
oh, he fights one way. Oh, he don't make adjustment. He just a come forward fighter. But you can
No.
see in the Danny Garcia fight when Danny Garcia caught him with that looping right hand. He threw a looping right hand and caught him. He made an adjustment. Danny didn't land that punch no more for the rest of the fight. I've seen it happen a couple times. Ugis as well, through a
Well, that,
couple right hands. He makes adjustments. Sometimes people think he get hit because he's blocking with his glove and he's not, rolling or going or slipping the punch or whatever. But he makes really good adjustments. I think that's something that people don't.
Well, I feel like his adjustments is just to to up the work rate.
That's not
No,
Because
it.
he's a
That's
no,
yep,
plain
not
that's
it at
Plum,
all.
Plum.
no.
If
No.
we're gonna keep it a thing, right? He's a plain hoagie, Plum. It's just
No,
premium
I
meat
don't.
and bread, but
hey,
he's a plain hoagie.
No,
hey,
I
I
don't
gotta
agree with
agree
that.
with YSM on that.
Nope.
He's what?
I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Hopefully, I'm
Because
able to.
the impressive thing to me in
I
the
agree
Danny
with you, J
Garcia fight
Rod.
was him
Yeah,
eliminating
that
Danny
is an adjustment.
Garcia's left hand. And that's
Oh,
what
he
he
definitely eliminated the left hook. You're right
and
about
and
that.
that was the most impressive thing to me in that fight. But as far as adjustments, he makes subtle adjustments, but I can't say that they big enough to impact the
It's the
outcome of the fight as much as his pressure is,
you
as much
see,
as that fourth gear that he got is.
it's not just that. You see, that's because, and I'm not saying this to put nobody down or anything like that. But the it's because Errol Spence's style looks simple to y'all.
Right.
That is
It's
that
not
is
about it
why
looking simple because you still respect what he do, but
no,
can't
but
none
what
of us like shit. We can all admit the style is basic. That's what it is.
it's
It's
not.
No,
fundamental.
it's
It's
fundamental. Right.
This
fundamentally
I
sound
think that's
at
better.
that's
every
what
point
Tim
of
Duncan.
boxing.
Tim Duncan.
You can
see this is
respect the fundamentals, but I can't not respect the fundamentals and then have to and then not admit that you can't stay the fuck off the line. So
okay.
if we gonna admit one thing, we gonna admit the other too. You
Now,
Okay,
understand? So
so I'm gonna ask you this, OTB. What are Bud flaws?
he get in dog fights.
That's it.
He get in
That's
dog
all.
fights. He has problems dealing with a jab in orthodox form, and he don't have the best lateral movement. His feet ain't all that great. You understand from what we seen at the welterweight division.
Well, you gotta also understand. And I'm gonna teach you some shit about Bud, bruh. Bud is settled now. You gotta understand. When you younger and you in the ring, right? You make dramatic moves. When you a younger fighter, you make dramatic moves. But as you grow older and get more comfortable, you make not so dramatic moves that you don't have to. you'll see Bud turn and basically protect himself that way. You'll see
Facts.
him throw the check hook because he don't
Facts.
have to do. He's
And you
not
will
as
see him do a distance check jab as well.
he's
Yeah,
he's
I
not
mean that.
so high. He's not to where he has to fight like he did when he was a younger cat, because he don't have to make those dramatic moves. It's just like anything you practice all the time or do all the time. You're gonna get to a point where it's so comfortable. It's like changing or brushing your teeth. It's you're
Now,
so comfortable with doing
Hey,
it to
I,
where you're not gonna make those dramatic moves that you did when you was up and coming. As you get older and um more seasoned and understanding the game better, you don't have to make such dramatic moves. So that's what Bud does. He doesn't when he needs to, he'll pivot out and it's smooth. He don't have to be jumping back and moving all hard to the side. He don't have to do that because he's comfortable.
mhm.
That's
I
why.
got I got a question for Coach and Quan. Um, y'all watch a lot of tape on Earl Spence, all right?
I
I
watch
do,
I
yeah.
watch everything, bro.
Okay, so tell me if y'all notice that he needs to either land the jab or the jab needs to touch the glove for him to activate his combinations or for him to start his combinations. If he
Who?
cannot, if the jab cannot touch anything, he automatically resets. So I'm asking, did you notice? And if you notice, like I noticed,
I know they notice
you
because
don't
they
think
watch
Terrence
my
Crawford
videos.
noticed?
I didn't hear the last part of what you said, Jamil.
I said, if I notice and y'all notice, you don't think Terrence Crawford noticed?
What
I
that
I
if he
think it's
what?
I think it's I think it's easier. Now I'll agree with that to a certain extent, and that's why I want to play this film study real quick. But I think it's, seeing something and being able to exploit something is two different things, because every
That's both
fighter
of
has
them.
flaws. Every fighter has flaws that coaches can pick up and film and game plan for, but being able to execute against that flaw, and then it also depends on how often that happens. Now, what you're saying is correct, but the thing that makes Errol Spence's uh hard to adjust to with that is that he throws a lot of different jabs. So different types of jabs. So because I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about, Jamil. But
Yeah, but
that's
that's
not
how
the same
EJ
jab.
fight too.
Right. The jab that he throws to set up combinations is not the
Because
same jab that he throws to like dictate the pace of the fight. It's a completely different jab, and it does different things. So real quick, hopefully this works. And Jamil, you brought this up because you said that his adjustment is just to up the work rate, which is not accurate. And because you and a lot of other people both saw that in the Kell Brook fight, how Terrence Crawford adjusted to Kell Brook's jab. So this film study this is probably the best
Or
film study
you
I've
about to
ever.
give me the plain hoagie mixtape? All right, come on, let's have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the plain hoagie
Right.
mixtape. Yeah,
Everybody.
but real quick, let me go ahead and play this. Hopefully it plays well because my upload speeds ain't the greatest. But let's see how this go.
Welcome to D-Rod's MMA and Boxing. Kell Brook versus Errol Spence Jr. is a testament and how important it is to pay attention to detail. One slight adjustment or failure to do so can cost a championship. You see, both guys start out making the same mistakes. Errol Spence Jr.'s hands were low, which Brook instinctively took advantage of the opportunity by landing right hands. He would also throw his jab and leave his hands out there to be countered. So it took Spence a few rounds to realize, yo, I can't continue fighting this way. But with such a high boxing IQ, he began to make adjustments by bringing his guard back up to protect his face and by jabbing and dipping underneath. He started to be proactive opposed to being reactive. Saying that, he made a few mistakes in the earlier rounds, like trying to use the rocket back method. As soon as he saw it didn't work, he went back to keeping his hands up high and ducking underneath. Throughout the fight, you would see him make these mental corrections. Brook, on the other hand, never made these adjustments and lost what appeared to many to be a very closely contested fight. That's how one or two minor adjustments can make a difference in a fight. Brook kept his hands low likes to punch and leave his hands flailing out there helplessly. He had a right hand to the body that was a good right hand, but Spence quickly smartened up and started to counter it by blocking with his elbows and landing a combo of his own. Not to mention, Brook didn't help his situation by jabbing to the body from a distance, using the same flaws as mentioned earlier. Jabbing to a southpaw body is a dangerous tactic to use
That's
because you leave
definitely
your eye and your temple exposed. This cost him greatly because keeping his hands low allowed Errol Spence Jr. to land easy punches to his eye. My friend, if you leave the front door open for a stranger to come in, you have no one else to blame but yourself. I repeat that. If you leave the front door open for an invader to come in, you have no one else but to blame but yourself. Body punching was a difference, as both guys threw body punches, but Spence body punches seemed to have more authority and more snap to him. He would set up his body punching by jabbing and coming underneath to land a shot. Brook wasn't able to counter as he wasn't expecting these punches to come from these angles. If you're not expecting it, you cannot counter it. That's what makes Errol Spence Jr.'s body punches so much more effective, is because he's often punching in angles and in places where the opposing fighter cannot counter them. And it's in times where they're least expecting it. He's very savvy with his selection. For instance, when Kell Brook collided with him, Brook decided Errol Spence decided to land a sneaky punch while Brook was least expecting it. What makes Errol Spence Jr.'s body punches so much more dangerous than anybody else is that because of his stance, he has access to the opposing fighter's liver. He has the option of throwing a hard power shot, which is the left hand, to either the kidney or liver. An orthodox fighter is just not accustomed to being punched from this angle and can be discouraging at times. Spence gets he sets this up by throwing shots to the head, getting Kell Brook to lift his hands up to give him the hardest shot he's ever faced. Errol Spence Jr. also made Brook pay for clinching and grabbing. Like War versus Kovalev, whenever Brook would occupy his hands and trying to hold on to Spence, Errol Spence Jr. took the liberty to land these powerful, powerful body punches. Another difference in the two is that Spence landed more shots more frequently. Brook would only land maybe one shot at a time. Spence would
So I
land in
blocked that shit.
combos.
That
Again,
right hand.
this is due to
Look,
Kell Brook giving him
see
yeah. He
that?
a
blocked
lot
that
of
one. He took
options
the last one
by
though.
keeping his hands
You gonna get
down,
hit, buddy.
head up high, and leaning forward. So Spence would take the time and he would attack both the head and the body in a period of time simultaneous, like he was fighting Octopus. Balance
Mm, mm.
was a key issue in this fight, as I believe that Kell Brook struggles against southpaw fighters. His feet are often off balance, and it seemed like he's stumbling. And I also noticed that he likes to leap in with his hands down and head up high. This allows him to be countered easily with left hands. The lunging forward causes collision, which prevents him from landing more than one shot. It also causes him to grab and allows Errol Spence Jr. to once again land those powerful, effective body punches and to score points. Because his feet are not set, Brook would make a major tactical error in keeping his hands down and leaning forward, as though Spence couldn't reach him. Big, huge mistakes. Switching stance is also another major issue I noticed. He's not ambidextrous, so when he switches stance, he's in unfamiliar territory and can't do anything else but to hold. And guess what? This would give Errol Spence Jr. the advantage in the exchange department. In the words of Teddy Atlas, real estate, real estate, real estate. Errol Spence has a lot of it, and Kell Brook has none of it. I also noticed that when Brook has Spence on the ropes, he doesn't take advantage of the opportunity, but when Errol Spence get Kell Brook on the ropes, that man throw the kitchen sink at you, ripping at the body and the head. Finally, you should never expose your weaknesses. Mentioning concerns of making weight gave Errol Spence all the ammo and the confidence that him and his team needed. Errol Spence mentioned in his post-fight review that his strategy was to continue coming forward and wearing Kell Brook down. And to a degree, he accomplished this by keeping his hands up high and coming forward, making Kell Brook to expend a lot of energy punching and wasting his punches on
I
hitting
bet this
gloves
is your
and
favorite video,
pushing
cuz.
Brook off using his muscles.
Man,
Brook had no choice but
I
to
think
stay
it's the
busy.
second time being
See,
shown.
Spence refused to allow him to
Man,
rest.
cut this shit
This,
off. He
along
ain't
with his
made no
crazy body
adjustment
type,
yet.
all played
Yes,
a
he
huge
did. What are
role
you talking
Man, you
in
talking
Brook
about him
wearing Kell
changing
Brook
from
down.
dropping
To
his
a degree,
hands? That ain't
he
no
probably
adjustment. That's a
would not have
bad
had the
fucking
same
habit.
type of assurance or
The
confidence
bud
Fix a
can't turn
bad habit
southpaw
and
to take
tell
away
me it's an
adjustment.
if he did not
adjustment.
have his forehand down.
Man, fuck out of
This
here.
is how much he took his game seriously.
The bud can't turn southpaw to
In my
take away a
previous
jab.
video,
Trick
That's
no
crazy.
Kell
good.
Brook
Cut this
was
shit off. Back
abnormally
to the
tired,
show.
but I do believe
Cut
that
this
this
man
gave
on man
Errol Spence
porno
Jr.
off, man.
his team the ammo they needed
about?
because the confidence and
With
the
this
assurance
fucking clown to come in
to
here?
continue coming forward.
Hey,
Man,
Mr. Mr.
what
Bean,
D-Rod
Mr. Bean
Zimmerman
has showed
Boxing.
up.
Leave a
man, if
comment
you don't
below.
cut this
Man,
male,
Hit the
if you
like
don't
button
cut this
and share with
male
all your
porn
friends.
off,
we just
Don't
speaking the
Actually,
facts.
I've
It's,
never
it's,
seen
it's,
it
it's
Much as I
already, bro.
interesting.
respect hold on, man. Let's get a brother a shout out though, because I respect everybody else that do film in the film industry in the YTC community. What's his name, bro?
What was his name?
Earl
Droids
Spence
MMA and
Jr.
boxing.
Oh,
What's his
Droids MMA.
name? Something.
His name is Droids
817.
MMA and boxing.
All right.
So,
Well,
I thought it was
respect his channel, respect his work. Definitely do, man. Anybody that love the sport that much to put that type of work into it, man, I never disrespect them. But he ain't make no damn adjustment.
oh, okay, all right. So,
yes he did. Yes he did. He dropped his hands a quarter of an inch to the left
Man, fuck
and
out of here,
blinked.
man. He was
And,
dropping his
and
hands, then he started holding them up. That's a
Yeah, they
bad habit
Draco.
he started off with.
and he blinked. And he blinked.
Salute,
Don't
Drake.
forget.
Draco,
Salute.
Draco, don't
Salute
come in here with your
Salute
bullshit.
John Smith. Salute
he
John
can't,
Kramer.
he can't help it.
Salute J Rod. The
He can't.
transmission is in the building, baby.
I already know who to
Yeah,
get when you
the
start running this
transmission,
mouth.
the
Clutch on
transmission
that
been,
ass.
yeah, that
Drake.
transmission been
Salute,
leaking
coach.
fluid for a couple years.
Man, pop the clutch on their ass, Drake.
Salute, coach. You know what it is. You hear the accent, baby. East Brooklyn, New York.
Man, cut that bullshit out.
I heard you too before I got on here. You talking about it's just the little simple things, OTB, that Earl Spence do. He get in the ring and blink twice, and then he
No, I was
move to
talking
the
about
left.
Bud when I was talking about Bud when I said that Bud he don't have to make extreme movements like he did when he was younger because he's seasoned and he don't have to make all that lateral movement and all of that like he used to do when he was younger. That's what I said, nigga.
I heard that bullshit, but when have you seen Spence use lateral movement in 28 fights?
I never
So we
said that
know
he did.
we know that Bud
Why
can
are
do
you
it.
coming in here? I got a call 817.
Cause this is what I do. This is what I do. See, we know that Bud can do it though. See, y'all be acting like
Now,
that, like
817,
these
I'm
are
going to get
faults.
money. We know he on and he'll come over this
This,
motherfucker.
this,
Go ahead.
Bud,
We going to get the Avengers versus
but
the X-Men popping.
OTB. They be acting like everything Bud do is a fault. Oh, he can switch, he can hit with either hands. That's a big fault against Earl Spence. Oh, he got
Never
good
said
lateral
right,
movement.
His
That's a fault
transmission,
against
right,
Earl Spence.
right,
Never
coach,
said that.
coach,
Goon,
Never
what's
said
up,
that.
Goon?
his
Brooklyn
Hey,
in
what
transmission
here,
up, my
is
Goon.
baby,
leaking.
man? I just been sitting over here quiet. I can't get in yet, bro.
He got a leaky transmission over
Everybody
there.
long
Hell
winded
nah,
tonight,
go on,
man.
jump,
Hey man,
go.
Bud Crawford is a great
TC.
fighter, bro, and he can hurt Earl Spence just like Earl Spence can hurt him. I think it's a great fight. I just want to see the fight. I can care less which one win, bro. I really, really and truly do not care. I don't care, bro.
Yes, you
I
do,
really,
coach.
I
Your
do.
heart,
Bro,
your
I'm
heart
gonna
goes
go.
out
Guess
to Earl
what's
Spence.
gonna happen? I'm gonna wake
Your
up.
heart.
I'm gonna wake up the next morning, nigga. Yeah,
Me too.
Godspeed. I'm gonna wake up the next morning, and it's gonna be all over, bro.
We all
Whoever
gonna wake up
wins,
the next morning, except Earl gonna
Godspeed.
wake up with an ass whooping. That's gonna be the only difference.
Oh
Hey,
shit!
bro, if Earl
No
wake up
less.
with an ass whipping, I'm not gonna feel one fucking punch.
I'm in here
Not
to break.
one punch.
Coach,
I
Coach,
promise you, I won't feel one punch that Errol
Coach,
Spence
Them
takes.
fans gonna feel that shit though.
I'm in here to break you and Kwame's heart tonight.
How you gonna break my heart?
Cause your heart is with Earl Spence.
My heart's with my wife.
My
I
heart
know
is
what the fuck
with
you
my
talking
wife, nigga.
You sharing it. You sharing it.
about.
You sharing that motherfucker.
I
Huh?
told you.
Saying who?
I
That
told you,
your
Draco.
heart.
You can't
Hey, come over here
until
and
your
fuck old
sausage
Draco
fingers
for me.
shrink down to the size of a hot dog. You got to keep that shit out the camera.
Huh? Hey, come
That
over
nigga
here,
dumb.
Draco.
That nigga Kwame dumb.
Get in that nigga ass for me, bitch.
Salute
Hey,
to
So,
Miss
Queen.
Coach.
wifey.
Salute, Queen. It
How
wasn't
how
up
you
to
doing,
you,
Miss Coach?
Queen.
I'm fantastic, Draco. I know
Did you hear Kwame say that Coach sharing his heart with you and Earl Spence?
My wife know me, Jack.
Okay, first of all, let's be
Uh-oh,
very
Drake.
clear. Nobody compares to me. Can't nobody do what I do. That's the first part.
Talk that
Second
shit,
part
Queen.
is you got a whole lot of room to be talking, sir.
You alone. Don't get on me. Don't fuck with us, man. Don't fuck with
That's
us.
Kwame.
We letting that go,
Kwame.
man. We letting that
Get
go.
him.
I don't know
Get
why you
Kwame.
trying to put it on me.
Nah, Kwame and I already we have a decent relationship. We already know how we roll. Me and him,
Right.
we like this.
We right
Draco,
there.
you got a woman, Draco?
Because I don't just show up for coaches glove up boxes. I show up for the more part too. You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
Exactly. That's exactly right. OTB,
That's
I
what
expect
I'm
that's
on
you
Coach
and
Mike's
your
good side.
that's
Thank
what I
you,
gotta do.
Queen.
He
That's
got
how
a main chick.
we
And
gotta
then
subscribe.
second chick. So I need the main chick and the girlfriend. I need both of
Oh,
them.
Well,
hello.
she said
So the
that she gotta
OTB.
come first.
Well,
You know what I
Coach,
mean?
I done
So
subscribe
everybody
to
know
your
who
show,
first.
man.
So she said we
Good,
definitely
brother.
there
Appreciate it.
on Monday. Yeah, I
You
mean
need
on
to get on
Friday.
mine
She
too,
said
sir.
my girl said
Yeah,
we
I
there.
already subscribed to you, brother.
All right,
I
I'm
appreciate
down
you,
with it.
fam.
She definitely checked me though, Corey. She let me know where she's staying, where her
Yeah,
place is.
yeah.
Yeah.
He already said they decided to go out, babe. That's why they ain't come to Couples Corner.
Well, it's nice to see you again, Draco. You've been incognito.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice seeing you.
He been in Omaha. That's why.
Oh,
Gotta watch them niggas from
Drigo
Omaha.
Drigo favorite numbers is 402.
Hey. Hey, what y'all don't know? I'm sorry, I just busted in and interrupted. How rude and
Might
Brooklyn
have
is
to
of
drop a
me.
dime on them niggas.
What they go OTB?
I don't like that shit.
You're the
I don't
illest
like
nigga in
that shit one
Nebraska.
bit.
I'm the illest nigga in Nebraska, baby. Yeah,
I can't help it.
yeah. OTB, Goon, what they own, baby? What they talking about in here? They ain't gonna tell me the truth.
hey, Earl.
Oh goodness,
No, we
the
was
Earl
talking
Spence
about.
show.
No, we was talking about.
We
No,
started on
we was
Frank
talking
Martin, but I
about
knew it
Frank.
was gonna
We
come
talking about
out.
Frank
Hold on.
Martin.
Yeah, and we
We
just
started
watched
on- we
Kwame's
started on
favorite
Martin.
breakdown. You know what I mean? For Kwame's favorite video,
No,
man.
he don't
Yeah,
make any
man.
adjustments. You say he get hit with all these right hands all the time, and he don't make any adjustments.
You
And I
said,
just,
brother,
I like to be
You just
factual.
showed me an adjustment of him holding his hands up.
That's
Why the fuck you walk in the ring with your hands down in the first place?
why he
Ain't
got.
no damn adjustment,
The
bro.
funny thing is Bud couldn't even make that adjustment
we
against
not even
Stumper's
talking about
jab.
Bud now,
His
though.
eye was about to.
We
His
talking
eye
about
was about to.
Spence.
His eye
Now,
was
when we
shutting
do
in
that, you
3
have a
rounds.
fit. When we do that, you have a fit. We not even talking about Bud right
His
now. We
eye
talking
was
about
shutting in 3 rounds.
Porter
Bro,
had
you know,
his shit.
You right
Bud.
about that.
He's the master of adjustments.
But when it comes to adjustments, yeah, I mean, I guess I got to put together a video of him switching stances and shooting that looping right
It's
hook.
too.
Bro,
It'll be too long.
So we
Yeah,
can
It'll
see
be
the
too long.
adjustment that he had for that
he do the same, bro.
jab that he
He
get
do the
caught
same
with.
thing. He do the same thing. He
Spence do
goes
OTB.
too.
south. He goes
That's a different
southpaw and
adjustment, bro.
Spence do the same thing too. So
we
why
do the
not
same
let's
thing.
wait for the
All right
fight?
then. So y'all
That's
act
an
like he
Hold
making
on.
such a big
I'm
adjustment.
just saying
All
that
of
it's
these
levels
guys
to
fight.
adjustments, like
All
Coach
these
said.
listen. All these guys
I'm just
fight
trying to get
within.
one word in, bro.
I'm just saying, all these guys fight within their own abilities.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Yeah, that's what they do. So I mean, it all depends. It all depends on, this is a 50-50 fight. So I mean, it's a pick 'em fight.
So why is the narrative only one way as far as like, well, Bud, he can only come in there and switch southpaw and Spence a southpaw, and he go beat him up, beat him to the body like that. Why the fight
Well,
can't go
but
other
that's
kind of
but that's
ways,
Respect,
not.
bro?
perspective. I
But
don't
I'm
have a
just saying the
problem with
people.
nobody's
Hold on,
It's the
but
perspective.
like
same
I wasn't
way.
even finished yet though. I wasn't even
Okay.
finished yet though.
Yeah, go
So
ahead,
in
go on,
saying
cook.
that, like the fight can go a lot of different ways. It's just that whoever go have the best night on that night. Because think about it. If Spence can't get in to do what we think that he can do, and Bud is at range and hitting him, and Spence is coming in because he's a pressure fighter, what is he open for? Counter punches. You feel what I'm saying? So that fight can go a lot of different ways, man.
Mhm.
Like we arguing with each other over showing videos on adjustments, bro. They got to do that when they get in the ring, bro. Like one's gonna work and one ain't gonna work. Somebody got to lose.
I agree.
That's
I
why. What did Drico tell? Oh, I'm sorry, OTB. Go ahead.
Nah, it was on Coach. Coach, go ahead,
Oh,
Coach.
coach.
Coach done
I,
stepped
I
away.
don't think Coach
But
is
nah,
still.
though, I just say that,
Any one of these
when it
guys
comes
can win this fight, bro. That's
oh
my
shit.
Bingo,
opinion.
bingo, bingo.
I
Yeah,
changed
and
your tune. I changed your tune, didn't I, coach?
go
I
ahead,
know you
Coach.
wasn't talking like this, coach.
He been
Why
saying the
does
same thing.
Shut the
I've been
fuck
saying
up,
this shit
Drake.
forever, bro.
Nah,
Drico,
yeah.
Drake, you gotta understand. You gotta understand. Drico makes up things in his head, and then he says that you said it. You know, because
I swear, coach wasn't talking.
that's what he
Listen,
does.
I swear,
Drico
coach
will
is
make something up
pro
in his own
Spence.
head, and then be like, "That's what
Oh,
coach. You said that, coach."
OTB and Goon, y'all
What
on
up?
here. Is Coach been having a pro Spence delivery lately?
I can't
Coach
say lately because
always gonna
this is
be
my
pro
first time on it in a
Spence.
minute.
Nah,
I
Coach,
Okay,
already
I
I
think
this
ain't
my
coach.
never talked to Coach and he wasn't pro Spence. That's why
okay
y'all
then.
hear me and Coach go back and forth a lot. Yeah, I mean,
Okay
but y'all
then.
gotta also
Listen,
understand our perspectives in boxing too. Coach come from the roots of it. Yeah, I
right.
mean, and
see.
you know,
Only thing I'm saying is
I'm a
this. Just
little
like
I'm a
I
little
said
younger.
earlier. Just like I said earlier. Um, I like both fighters. I think either one of them can win this fight. It's a matter of who got the most dog. It's gonna. If a fight break out, I favor Spence.
Mm.
If Bud can counter Spence and keep it from getting inside, I favor Bud. That's bottom line. Because if he can't slow Errol Spence down, he's gonna have a long night. Because this is my belief. Now I could be wrong, but my belief is that his work rate, if Bud can't keep up with the work rate, he got to put some shit on Spence to slow that work rate down. We haven't seen him throw that many punches in a fight as Errol Spence does. And I'm not talking about just jabs. I'm talking about the hard shot.
Mhm.
So it's gonna take Bud, and just like I told, did I say this now? So Drico, you a Johnny come lately, motherfucker, because you don't listen. OTB,
I'm
OTB,
just waiting. I'm just waiting to tear
OTB.
your ass up.
What did I say? What did I say? Now it wasn't on this show, but what did I say I would have Bud Crawford doing every fucking day until this fight is made?
Going
Jabbing.
3,000 jabs a day.
Yep.
That motherfucker will be throwing some hard fucking jabs all
He
day
said
long.
3,000 jabs a day. Drico, I said the same thing. I said the
No.
same thing. I said that that would
To
change.
offset, to
Go ahead,
offset,
coach.
to
Go ahead. Let coach
offset,
cook.
to offset Errol Spence's work rate to make EJ reset and have to reset a lot. That's why I said what I said.
No,
That's how
coach.
Bud win the fight.
Hold on, Drake. Hold on, Drake. Because hey, let me tell y'all something. Like that's a good game plan. You understand? If you trying to win this fight on points and you trying to, you understand, go and get this fight and put it on and take the pressure to Errol Spence. That's the only way you gonna do it. However, I say that counters what Bud does good and his
Bingo,
best characteristic, which is his timing. So
bingo.
I don't say that Bud have to fight EJ fight. Yeah, I mean you don't have to beat him to his punch and overexert yourself to any extent. You can still fight your fight, and because of that, I'm not worried on fight night, y'all. In October, I'm not worried if Bud down 2 rounds to 5, and we in the 7th round. You understand? I'm the one person in the room who listening to everybody talk they shit. Oh, he about to go to sleep. That eye swelling up. You understand? No problem.
You
Yeah,
want
the
that to
damn
happen.
show
I
is.
tell you right. I tell you
Because
right
it's
now.
gonna end the same way.
If
I'm used to it ending to me. So you understand? It's just two counter perspectives on that.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, if Terrence Crawford is down 2 rounds to 5 in 7 rounds, you might as well get a body bag and finish that shit because
That shit
if
sound
Errol, no,
good,
hold
bro.
on, let me explain what I'm saying. Errol Spence's work rate, the way that he fights, if he's up 5 rounds to 2 on a person like Terrence Crawford who can outpoint him, that means that he's taking a lot of work in 7 rounds. That's what that means. And
Not
that
so
man,
much.
he may be a
Not so
strong
much as
man,
that.
he may be a strong guy, but look at Drico head. It's just shaking. He can't
Cause
fathom
you don't
anything.
know that, bro. Errol can land the more punches and he can land the bigger punches, and we don't know where those rounds can go. Where it can look like Bud is down 5-2 rounds, but on the accurate level, it's really 3-2. What the judges see when we hear the cards and the numbers, and how
I'm
many
not going
times
by that.
do we see that in boxing?
I'm not going by
Go.
that. I'm going by
What
what
up,
you
bro?
said. Him being down 2 to 5. And what
Exactly,
all I'm
but you
saying
got to
is that
look at the perspective of when I say that 2-5 too, because that 2-5 can mean that Errol can be up on the punch, on the total punches landed, but the highlights and the bigger punches and the cleaner punches can go to Bud.
Y'all better
okay.
hope he ain't down 7-5 and he asked whoever he asked, am I down?
How
Is
could he
he
be
up?
down? How could he be down
Am
seven
I
to
down?
five?
I mean,
Drico, seven
if he
plus
down
five is
seven to
12. The
two,
7-5
fight will be
in the
over.
listen,
game.
you better hope he's not down, period. And he asked whoever he asked, am I down? Is he up? If he asked that,
Errol Spence ain't Sean Porter. You know
if
what,
he,
Drico?
I
You know
can't
what?
tell.
You know
I
what,
can't tell.
Drico? I would be very comfortable if you and Bomac were
No,
in
you
Bud's
wouldn't,
corner that
because
night because
I'm gonna
I
tell you
would know
something.
for a fact that he would lose because
I,
you
I'm
say
gonna
some of the most asinine shit I've
no.
ever heard.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm
Coach
gonna tell you something.
stupid,
No,
man.
no,
Coach,
listen.
what the
No,
coach?
listen.
Come on.
What I said, listen, what I said was a fact. He did, you better hope he, because he did ask, am I down? Am I up? And what happened?
He didn't
Okay,
ask
then.
that. That's
All
what you
right, then.
told him.
And
So
No, he didn't
that's
ask.
a
and to
fact
that
right
point,
there.
yeah, go
That's a
ahead.
fact. Okay,
Because
now number, and now I
what,
want to
Drake?
address this. I want to address the punch output. TC ain't have to. He don't have to fight Earl Spence fight, brothers. He's too skillful to fight Earl Spence fight. He gonna get in there and fight how he want to fight, and he don't have to outwork Earl. Guess what he got to do? Out counter Earl. Because when you throw punches, the more you throw, that becomes counterproductive to a counter puncher. I mean,
Nigga,
as when you're facing a counter puncher, because they
Drico,
want you to
go
throw
to Vegas,
punches.
go get your boxing license so
They
you could get in his
no,
corner and
they
help
want
him
you.
lose,
That's the
please.
whole idea of a counter puncher. They want you to throw punches, so he doesn't have to outland Earl Spence. He wants Earl Spence to throw punches and come forward and run him into something, set a
Right,
trap and run him into something like he
right.
ran all of the other welterweights.
Hey,
So
coach, you
we when
remember?
OTB when OTB says he don't have a problem with Terrence Crawford being down, that's the reason why he doesn't have a problem with TC being down, because he know one punch, and he knows that TC is skillful enough to land that one punch. It's not going to be a lucky head down, Danny left hook. It's going to be strategic, step back, pop, pop,
Right,
pop,
right.
and do his thing to Earl Spence. Earl
Co-
Spence fights two ways. He got the jab, 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 head, body, boom, left hand, or he bulldozing you and he coming straight forward. I have not yet to see Earl float like a butterfly, sting like a
He ain't
bee.
gonna
So
fight like that in this fight, bro.
Yeah, I
I
guess he'd
doubt
agree that in
it's
this
He's
fight.
right.
not gonna fight
I
like that in
doubt
this
if
fight.
he does it on his 29th fight. I have not seen him do this in the amateurs. I have not seen him do this in the pros.
You ain't
None of
even
that.
know who Earl Spence was in the
One
amateurs.
thing,
Cut it
I
out.
watched him. I watched him. No, I
Man,
went back and watched. I did my homework. That's what y'all don't do with
talk your
TC.
shit, Drake.
And so when he get in that ring with TC, you think you're gonna see a different Earl? You think you're gonna see a different TC? No, you're gonna see two fighters on top of their game, and it ain't who's gonna bring the most to the table, it's who can take the most away from each other. Can TC take Earl Spence jab away? Can Earl take TC's lateral movement away? And when he does that, who is left naked with the most tools though? Who's gonna be naked first? And I think that TC has the most tools to adapt, and Earl, where he takes Earl jab away, what is Earl gonna do? What is Earl gonna do? When he take his jab away, what is he gonna do? And then when you and Coach say, at one more point, when you and Coach say, oh, he better not let Earl get inside. Why? He threw Green Machine around. Why? He threw Jeff Horn around. Why? He bench pressed 405 pounds in blue jeans and sneakers. So soon as Spence come in with that rambunctious stuff, head first, he gonna uppercut him. If he miss, he gonna check hook him. If he miss that, guess what? He gonna clinch him. He's gonna clinch him. He's gonna clinch him. Okay.
Coach, I know you got some connections in
Let's
the
go.
boxing world.
Hey, Drake
Hold on one
just
second,
came
Coach.
in, goddamn it.
Coach,
Let's see you,
Coach,
baby.
I know you got some connections in the boxing world. Can you get this fool a boxing license?
YTC been missing you, Drake, man. They been missing you, Brody. Real shit,
Salute.
man. That's it right there, bro, man.
Salute.
We need you, bro.
Thank you, brother.
It's that
Thank
right
you, brother.
there.
I hear you, Kwame.
Real quick, Coach. Remember Roy Jones Jr. and Glenn Johnson fight?
Yes.
Remember that fight?
Yeah.
You
I
remember how
that
everyone
fight.
was waiting for Roy Jones to throw some counters from all that pressure being put on him after all of those rounds of what happened?
Him being a heavyweight champion.
You remember that?
Yes.
Was that after?
Okay. So I'm just saying, if y'all really think that a guy that moved up from 135 to 147 is going to be able to take that amount of volume of punches and punishment from a guy who's breaking bones into the seventh and eighth round, and y'all sitting around waiting for a counter punch to happen, it may just not happen because he might just be too worn down.
But it may happen too. So that's why I say we be going back.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
It's going to happen. It has happened all TC's career, so it's going to happen.
Okay.
This ain't no different. Earl's a stationary target. Why wouldn't it happen? Earl's a stationary target. Why wouldn't it happen? Let's go.
This is the only thing I'm gonna say, Drico. As a trainer of boxers, you do not rely on one punch to win you a fight, bro. And if that's the case, just like Kwame said, it can take all night for you to have, and if it don't show up, if that one counter punch that you looking for,
he's waiting on one punch though.
That's what Drico said. Drico said it's gonna happen just like it happened in every other fight. He could be down.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay, but listen, let's be realistic, fellas.
Y'all waiting on one punch, Earl Spence's jab.
I mean,
Then what?
You just said a mouthful of bullshit. Can Coach get his shit off?
Yeah.
Coach, get shit out because I want to get on to something else too. I got another topic I do want to chop.
Only thing I'm saying is this, bro. You can't be relying on fucking Terrence Crawford. This is gonna be the Terrence Crawford is. This is gonna be the fastest that he ever had to start in this fight. Because if you sit around and wait, he's gonna take a lot of punishment and he's gonna get behind on the scorecards. You can't sit here and wait. You gotta start early. He can't sit here and wait, bro. I'm telling you, he can't wait, bro. He's gonna have to start the fight early, bro.
I got one question for you, Coach. One question for you, Coach. What is one way that you diffuse a counterpuncher? What's one way that you diffuse a counterpuncher? The only way.
That's not what you mean. Only way. Feints. That's one way.
How? What is? Give me
Feints is one way because you make them commit. Hold on. Instead of them, they thinking you gonna throw a punch and then they commit. So feints is a way, right? Footwork is another way. I could give you more than one way to be the counterpuncher.
You know, what's the textbook way, Coach? The textbook way is make a counterpuncher lead. Come on, we're gonna talk. So you think you mean to tell me Spencer's gonna make
his name is Coach, your name is Drico. You gonna tell a coach the main way to do it. And
we all watch boxing, don't we?
Yeah,
we all watch boxing.
But he trains boxing. You talk boxing.
But you gonna tell me there's only one way, Drico, and it's not true.
I know. I said name one way. I said give me one way.
You said
That's
the
what I
main
said.
way. You said the
Yeah, the
main
main
way.
the what's the textbook way that everybody says that to beat a counterpuncher is to make a counterpuncher lead. Everybody knows that. That's common knowledge right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's good. You were right in your synopsis. I was right too. So I
Yeah,
mean, what's going
facts.
on here? Nobody's wrong in the
Fa-
situation. I'm just saying, but I find it hard to believe that Earl is gonna let TC lead. And you guys know that too. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, he damn sure going first. EJ
Okay.
going first. His work rate too high. We only can
Oh,
go off of history. History speak for itself. So we all know that he gonna go first. But I will say that as long as it took Bud normally to digest in fights, I will agree he can't take that long this time. Yeah, I mean this time he's not always so responsive. Yeah, I mean, and I say that like he don't got to get hit clean, but the times that he do get hit, he don't always respond. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, the second you hit Bud, he want his lick right back." But if you go and you watch the film, yeah, I mean, you will see a lot of times when Bud get hit earlier in the fights that he's not so responsive, and this is what caused him to be down on cars as well a lot in fights. You know what I mean? And this time, I will agree, he can't take 4 or 6 rounds
Treat, you got to go out and come back in.
to allow him to allow EJ to really dictate the pace amongst other things as far as that fight is concerned. So I definitely will agree with you there. What up, Kyron Johnson? Salute, salute. Appreciate you being with us. Definitely appreciate if you go to coach site, glove up boxing. I think it's pinned in the chat. Did we pin it, bro?
Well, I had it pinned, and I pinned the link.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, yeah, definitely. Everybody get the glove up boxing and more. You did coach's site, man. Proud to say that finally. But
I appreciate you, bro.
hey, real talk, OTB. I mean, real talk, coach. I'm proud to say that, man.
Man, I
That
appreciate
man,
it, bro. Man,
that
y'all,
put a big
man,
smile on my face.
hey, we keep it raw over there on Friday nights, bro. I'm telling you so.
Yeah,
Keep
Yeah.
it,
it was a great show. It was a great
keep
show
it raw.
Friday night.
We ain't going 4 hours no more though. That shit was too long, bro.
It
Nigga,
happens, coach. I had to get it under control with this because you'll wind up 2 hours go by, 3 hours go by. You be like, what the hell's going on here? You gotta like
And
have a
then
set
when you
time to get in and on and off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you with such good people, you feel me, and you know you get in that zone. That's just like we get to talking this shit right here. Shit, we'll get to going in 2, 3 hours, like three,
right. Shout
four
out my
hours.
brother.
Like damn.
Shout out my brother Keon. He in the building.
Yeah. Salute to
Yeah,
King on
salute
everything
Keon.
boxing.
Gotta
Yeah,
say
man.
that. That gotta say that. Salute the big bro. But what y'all think about Derek Chisora, man? Did
he want to
anybody
fight
catch the
Wilder, huh?
Chisora Pulev fight? Yeah, what y'all
No,
think about him trying to fight Wilder?
I mean, he
I just
trying
nope.
to
want to
get
see Wilder
paid.
back in the ring. I want to see Wilder back in the ring. I don't think those guys is on Wilder's level, but then we don't know how much those fights took out of Wilder.
Yeah, bro.
So
Yeah, that's my thing. We don't know which Wilder gonna show up.
right,
So
right.
I'm really scared for both of them fighters to really take this fight, to be quite frank and honest, because Derek Chisora, if you watch him in a Pulev fight, as much as he pulled it out, yeah, I mean, every blow looked like his ass wanted to fall, and every round looked like he was looking over in the stands like he wanted to be over there. So I really don't want to see either one of these fighters get back in the ring.
I hear you. I just got to throw one more thing out there before we move on to this as well. I think one of the other things because we're talking so much about these two great fighters getting ready to face off, but I think there's one thing that's also being overlooked in this fight, and it's the corners. It's the
Here
corners.
you go.
I'm just saying. I'm saying. I believe it's the corners, and
Elaborate.
well, I'll tell you from what I've seen from both corners is that Bomac is not even keeled when his fighter is not winning. He doesn't give good advice. He's very emotional in the corner. I mean, he cussed Mo Hooker out in the corner
Facts.
uh, when he was when he was down. Uh, I I watched him against Jamel Herring. He doesn't to me. That's just me personally. I don't think he gives the best advice when his fighters are having a challenge. To me, now when I see Derrick James, for instance, against Tony Harrison, the first fight against Jamel, the first fight against Castano, I see Derrick James is still very level headed and he gives actual boxing instructions, not emotional instructions, not do this, do that, do this, do that, but also sticks to he's very disciplined to what he sees, what he observes in his game plan and delivering that to the fighter. Now it's up to the fighter to go out there and execute it because I've
Facts.
seen times where Charlo still went at the first Castaño fight. I was just baffled at what Charlo was doing. It was like he was voluntarily going on the
Damn, they're
ropes.
purposely ignoring
Yeah,
him.
he was voluntarily going on ropes. He wasn't shooting his jab the way he shot it in the second fight, which these are the things that was being said to him. So um I think the corners is gonna play a huge part in the fight too. More than what people think. I,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, you probably more in house. I mean, in fight. Yeah, I mean, me, I don't know. I respect Bomac a lot. Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, I see what this man put into boxing on the amateur level. Yeah, I mean, you could still catch Bomac at amateur events. Like, he might not do no interviews, but you can catch him there. You understand? And not just because Bud Crawford's sons is in them events. I done seen him at events that, you know what I mean, his sons wasn't in. But
Womack loves the sport of boxing.
but also I have to say, when I look at both trainers and I assess them, you had 8 weeks to train for a fight. You understand? Game plans are already embedded within that 8 weeks. So when it comes to in fight, I may lean towards Derrick James because Bomac is more of a motivator after camp is over. You understand? Is what I get out of that. And as far as the better trainer, I got to look at the people that they made champions. Yeah, you know what I mean, and as far as the people that they made champions, Jamel Herring wasn't a champion. We'd agree that Jamel Herring is probably the least talented of any champions both trainers can put on a scale. And then when you look at Steven Nelson, you understand, not a lot of talent there. Yeah, I mean, and this the really besides Bud, this is the first time with Keyshawn Johnson that we really about to. I mean, Keyshawn Davis. You understand? We really about to see him and bet this what he really do with this talent. You understand? So in fight, like I say, I may lean towards Derrick James as far as adjustments go, and Bomac being more of a motivator. You understand? After, but motivational wise, I lean towards Bomac. Maybe even game plan wise, I lean towards Bomac because Bud got 10 straight stoppages, and you understand, I've seen him do more with less talent. So you understand, as far as teaching go, you understand, you as far as coaching, you either can teach or motivate, and coach would agree with this. You understand? So one is great at one and one is good at the other. So I don't know that I lean any direction when it
I
comes to
mean, I think me personally, I think most of that success is based off of Terrence Crawford. Sometimes you have a special fighter who comes along, and Terrence
but
Crawford is
but
definitely
you can't say that, bro. And we got a Jamel Herring who wasn't a champion until he went to that camp.
yeah,
Jamel Herring fought out of Cincinnati too, so I was well equipped with
right.
yes,
But
man.
Jamel Herring, and I got a lot of love for Jamel Herring. But also, Top Rank is also really known for matchmaking and building fighters. And I'm not stating that he didn't improve because he did improve without a doubt. I'm a fan of Jamel Herring, not from a skill perspective, quote unquote, but him as just
Right, the
the,
person,
the
the
person. He's one
individual.
of the
You
most
understand?
stand
You
up
have
people you can meet.
anybody can't got to be a fan. It's hard to not be a fan
Right,
of
be a
him in
fan of
that
Jamel
aspect.
Herring.
Right, right.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that Bomac. I'm not taking anything away from Bomac and his ability. But one thing we do know is that these fighters are not going. B&B boxing for Bomac. They're going there to work with Bud. Let's and I know someone who's been in their camp for a week, in the
Yeah,
camp,
I got a
and
interview with a fighter that's in camp with him right now.
right,
Bubakar Aki
and the
Silla.
word
Yeah, I'll
on the
check out for Bubakar
and the
too.
word on the street is, for the most part, Bomac is not in the gym, or he's in his office, and is Red Spikes and the Mexican dude Esau, who's doing all the training and all the work. That like so when we're sitting around talking about Bomac doing this and that and doing this and that, half the time it ain't him working with the guys. It's the other guys that's working with those guys.
Well,
Well, you
I,
can
I
say that about a lot of camps, bro. There's a lot of
yeah,
trainers. You could
yeah,
say all trainers have a support system, bro.
yeah.
Derek James has
Well,
maybe his
He
brothers,
got
but
his brothers.
right,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he's the
Exactly, and his brothers do a lot. You done heard Frank talk about his brothers. Like, yeah,
yeah.
man.
right.
First, I agree with OTB like totally 100%, and with what his analogy and breakdown of the coaches. But one thing I wanted to elaborate on this point right here that you brought up, Kwame, is that Bomac being the head trainer or whatever. I mean, he implements the fight plan, and then that's up to Bud, and he can delegate his help. Hey, see that this get followed through. You see what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that Bomac might not be hands on, but I'm pretty sure he's in there strategizing, and he's
Oh,
probably making most decision on it.
I'm not saying that he's not. A
Right.
lot of people could
Oh, okay.
strategize during camp, but
Right.
when the fight is going on, the instructions that you're giving a person during the fight. See, because anyone could look good when they have a top elite fighter.
Right.
Every coach could give all the credit in the world when you got a top elite fighter like a Terrence Crawford who is disciplined, who is skilled, who has the tools in the toolbox to do the things that he do. It's easy to say, "Oh, this guy's a great coach because this guy is doing that," right? But
Yeah.
on the flip side, when everyone's not like that, and then you see the results of what's going on with the other fighters, because yeah, you bring up Jamil Herring, and I just feel like Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. That was just a pedigree thing, basically. One guy's just a completely different pedigree. One guy's is like a prodigy type guy. Another guy's a hard working
Hold
blue
on,
collar
bro.
type
Hold
fighter.
on, bro. Hold on, bro. Put some context into that. Shakur Stevenson had been in 3 camps with Jermell Herring. He
Okay,
knew him. You
same.
knew him. You
Well,
knew his style. You knew what he was good at. You had sparred him enough to know. That's why you had the difference in the energy that Shakur Stevenson had
but
for
you
that
But
could
fight.
say,
Jamel Herring, but Jamel Herring was in the
he's
ring
in
with
a
him
camp
too.
with Shakur Stevenson. That's my point.
You
So
right. You right. And
Yeah,
as
He was
so it's a
well
getting
as
his
pedigree
ass
thing.
kicked by Shakur Stevenson.
but he was
That's
getting
the
his ass
difference.
kicked in camp.
That's the difference.
We all knew that.
But like I
Shit.
said, it's a pedigree thing.
Ain't like Shakur showed up one camp and just that camp was better than Jamel. You
I
feel me?
mean,
Let's
Shakur
remember
Stevenson.
Jamel got his belt from Josh Warrington, who ducked Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Shakur Stevenson. It's not like Shakur Stevenson has only had that type of performance against Jamel Herring. He's had it mostly all his career. So it's not. I mean, there's pedigrees and levels to fighters, and that's
Yep.
all
Hey,
I'm saying.
hey,
You,
speaking of sparring,
Right, I agree with you there, bro.
speaking of
It's
sparring, coach,
definitely levels to this shit.
speaking of sparring, coach,
What?
with Shakur Stevenson, then he sparred one of y'all Louisiana natives, and I heard he put a whooping on him.
Hey, bro. I heard the same thing.
Oh,
You
okay.
you
We can move
you
on then.
you
Shout
act
out to
like
Regis.
I heard Ohio boy got off on him. I ain't gonna say
Shout
no
out,
names.
shout out to
I ain't gonna
Regis.
say no names.
hey, but his
I
but
ain't
his
gonna
but his
say
but
no
his but
names.
his but
I
here's the
you
heard
thing.
act like
Ohio boy
It's
got off on
it's
Shakur in
but
that
it's but
ring.
again it's number
but
one
y'all
is
you act
is
like
sparring.
you just like you said though. I mean Shakur is an elite level fighter, bro. Y'all act like
Right.
that
Right,
dude
right,
and you know
right.
Regis is at any time, bro. I done seen fighters who fucking been sparring in a gym, and then when they go in a pro fight against each other, they didn't spar before. And
and
the one be the one that whooping the other one ass, and then when they get in a fight, the other one beat the shit out of them.
Right.
So
Right.
you
and
never know what they
also, man,
working on. It's
facts, coach,
fun.
say that.
That's facts.
Because
That's
in
fact.
sparring, yeah, I mean, I may be going against something that may make us call you in because you may be good at that. You understand? So now you change how you fight me. So when we say, yeah, I mean, Bud, like I'm gonna use basketball as an example. Everybody had that go-to guy. You know what I mean? You make the worst play the best. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you get better playing the best. So
Yep.
when it comes to sparring, yeah, I mean, that's why I said in one of my videos when I did use, I think it was on Shakur Stevenson too. I don't like using sparring videos because you never know what they might have been working on that may have caused that fighter to fight that way in the ring. You understand?
Right.
And when it
Right.
comes to boxing, they trying to make each other better.
Man, you
I
see
agree
all
with that.
kind of shit in spar. You see guys who's fucking pro who you'll look at him in a fight and that motherfucker look great in a fight, and then he get up in there. There's levels. There's always levels to this game, and I learned that
Right.
young. I learned it young
Right.
because one time I was at a fight. I think it was at the Lakefront Arena. Right? They had this kid out of Mississippi. He was man. He looked fucking sharp. He's putting his hands on this dude. Right? Well, my brother used to coach boxing before me, and so he goes. I said, man, that dude can fight. He said, man, he can't fuck with Super D. Talking about John Duplessis. He said, man, you can't fuck with him. I said, man, that boy look good. I don't know what you talking about. Right? A couple weeks later, after the fight had passed, we was in the gym. He said, now watch this. Same little dude, same style. Got up in there with Super D, and John Duplessis tore his ass up. And he was like, you see, there's levels to this shit. And that's when you start learning and you start seeing shit that unexpected shit happen in the gym. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you might get a guy who get knocked be up out on his feet in the gym, but you know it's all sparring. You can't take that shit
Right.
for nothing, especially when you switching from 16s to 8s or 16s to 10s. That's a big
Fact,
fucking difference, bro. Them fucking gloves
facts.
are hard, bro. Them gloves not soft, bro. I
over
promise you they not.
over 2 pounds, yeah, 2 pounds, and now you got to go in there with way heavier gloves than you just work with. I just watched the fighter have to go through that and
You
change
going to
your whole
way
fight
lighter
game
stuff.
plan because
So
you
can
used to throwing, yeah, I mean, and your
Yep.
punches getting there in a shorter time
Yeah.
span, and they get in there now because you got heavier gloves on.
So can we stop saying that Spencer's gonna walk TC down because of what he supposedly did to TBE inspiring? Can we
Nobody
stop that
said
now?
anything about him walking him down. What we said
I've
was
heard that
Bud
before. I heard
Bud
that
has
before.
to start earlier because if he can't wait, bro. Because if he wait, he gonna take a lot of punishment early in the fight, and he may not be able to catch up. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he gonna lose. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm
I'm
saying is he got to start earlier, bro. I promise you.
I'm not
I'm saying
saying
he gonna
from the
lose.
pressure or him taking too much of a beating. I'm not worried about either one of those things. I'm worried about the magnitude of the fight, putting the pressure on the judges once, I mean, you have that differential in punch volume.
Yeah, and I heard
I
y'all say earlier. I heard y'all say
I'm worried
earlier.
about the judges and the magnitude of the fight. That's going to be a real big
We
fight, Kwame. So
we
Good.
you understand that's going to put a lot of pressure if Earl get up. If we can all look at the punch stats and he up 20, 40, 60 punches, and he up 20, 17, 13, cool 50 piece, 52, 54 punches. Now he has that, and that's a lot of pressure on the judges when they doing that card. There's gonna be a real big fight, you understand? And if it do come down to it, hell yeah, that's gonna make a difference. So I'd be inclined to agree. He got to start faster, but it ain't because I'm worried about him taking so much of a beating because you don't see Earl stop nobody early in fights.
No,
He
but
don't stop
I don't
nobody
think
early in fights.
he
I don't think
punches
it even
hard.
gonna be there. I don't think that Bud got it. I don't think neither one of them got to make changes, bro. Honest with you, it's too late in the game. They 30
Yeah,
fights
I'm
in.
fat.
They're gonna go in there and do Earl. Earl gonna be Earl. TC gonna be TC. I don't think you're gonna see too many adjustments outside of the ring. The adjustments are gonna come inside that ring. And that's what I'm talking about. Who gonna out adjust who and who's gonna take who from what? And the age difference ain't Bud only 2 years older than Spence.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, y'all acting
That's
like
like
Bud.
3 or 4.
Y'all acting like Bud pushing
No,
50 and Spence 19. I mean, so it's not that much of a difference as far as wear and tear. I mean, so we got to look at that too. I mean,
we
Trico,
I,
not.
you
I
gonna
don't
stop
think
bundling me up in this bullshit, bro.
that's
You
what
I
he
gonna
didn't say
does
you,
though.
I
coach.
feel
Hit
you,
dog.
coach.
Hey,
you said y'all.
Get that sausage
hit
down,
dog.
Include
Draco.
Hey,
everybody.
OTB. Did you
Yeah,
take offense to that y'all statement? You didn't, did you?
nah,
Because
not
he
at
pulling
all.
Okay,
for
then
Bud,
a
nigga.
hit dog will holler. A hit dog
No,
will holler.
nigga, you
Uh,
nigga clown, bro.
Man, Drake, Drake
now,
back in
coach.
rare form, yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. I mean, but
Nigga, you
it's
better
just
leave
going.
them fucking Red Bulls alone, nigga.
It's going. It's gonna come down to that, man. It ain't gonna come down to no heart. It's gonna come down to that skill, man. Skills pay the bills, man. It ain't gonna come down to no dog. It ain't gonna come down to none of that. It's gonna come down to that adjustments, and it's gonna come down to that heart. It's gonna come down to them skills, brother. At the end of the day, man. That's what it's all gonna boil down to. Who gonna make them adjustments and come out on top each round, minute by minute? Who gonna be in there? Y'all gonna also see the most cautious Earl that y'all done seen ever, because Earl is not gonna get in there throwing them 75 punches around against that counter puncher with the expertise of TC. If
I
y'all
I
agree
think
bet
that
with
that.
you
that's gonna
there.
happen,
I
okay
bet
then,
that. I bet that.
okay then,
I
I
agree
bet
oh,
with
that.
you there too.
I bet
okay
that.
then.
I
I
Earl
bet
is
bet
you
that.
going.
at that.
I'll bet
Earl,
that too.
I bet that.
It's interesting. It's coach.
bet
It's
it.
interesting. Hold
I
on,
bet
coach. It's
that.
interesting how he contradicts himself in the same soliloquy he gives out.
Absolutely.
He just stated that the adjustments have to be made in the ring, that these guys are gonna do exactly what they always do. But then he turns around and says 2 seconds later that Earl's not gonna do what he always do, which is throws a lot of punches.
I
He's
bet
not.
that.
He's gonna get in there and he's gonna do that. And he's gonna get counter and he's gonna make that
I
adjustment.
still think that he outworked Bud. I still think that he outworked Bud clearly. Is it the
Yeah.
same magnitude or volume that we used to him doing it at? I don't think it'll be that.
We'll see.
Meaning, I
Yeah.
don't think it'll
No
be 70.
contradiction.
I
We'll
think it's
see.
more down to 48, 50. Yeah, I mean
I hope Bud don't
17,
slow
20.
down.
Bud ain't gotta slow down.
As
I
long
mean,
as he stay at
uh,
17, 25, he cool.
a lot of people
Don't
slow. A lot. I mean, based on based on what you
Just
said that
respond to the
Terrence
question.
Crawford does to every fighter, and
don't let Bud get caught either, because you know he got a little suspect chin too now.
What's
right,
suspect about it, coach?
Bro,
how
come
he
on.
stinky legs when it gets touched.
Come on, bro. He just like he just got burnt out of
You
a
can his
zebra, bro.
reaction. You
Stop.
mean how he reacts?
No,
That
I
ain't got nothing
react
to do.
when I'm talking about his sometimes he get disconnected. His legs
Right.
disconnect from his brain and his
Well,
legs
Okay.
go to
I can agree with that. My
Okay.
thing is, have we seen the power from Earl to do it?
yes,
Shit, we ain't seen him drop no damn body, y'all. Who he
bro.
dropped?
Bro,
Who
think
he
about
dropped?
this. Hold on,
And
hold
when
on.
did he
Wait,
drop
wait.
him?
And let me ask you this question. Do
He
you
didn't even
know
drop
how
Ugas and broke
wait,
everything
wait,
on his face.
And still ain't
exactly.
dropped that
Do
man.
y'all
And
Still
still
ain't
ain't
dropped
dropped
him.
that
you know what
man.
that means?
So you
That
telling
means
me
hold
that he
on,
gonna
that means
wobble
that you
Bud?
Dennis no listen. That means that you Dennis Ugas can take a
Oh,
fucking
fucking
beating.
punch.
He
Oh,
can
get out of
take
here,
a punch.
coach.
He can. So
Mikey
you
can
telling
too,
me?
then,
Hold on. I'm
right?
gonna ask you this
Mikey
So
can
question.
can
too.
So
Mikey, who coming up
is
from
Bud chin better
135?
than you, Dennis Ugas chin?
So can
I'm gonna
Mikey,
ask
who
y'all
coming
that
up from
question.
135? Mikey
Is
came up from 135.
bro, Mikey Garcia was fucking
We
in
seen
survival mode the whole fight, bro. Come on, bro. It's hard to knock a fucking professional, especially on the caliber of Mikey Garcia, out when he's trying not to get knocked out.
All
All
of
he
them
was
tried
doing was
not to get
protecting
knocked
him.
out, coach.
No, bro. You most of the time knockouts happen when a fighter fucking make a mistake and the other he's throwing a punch and get caught before his punch can reach. A lot of times that happen, he get caught and don't see it. Just like with fucking Rolly. He didn't even see that fucking shot. He didn't
He
see
should
it. But when
have.
you
Tank
see
turned him
projecting
for the
yourself,
whole for 3 rounds before that. That's the first time we ever seen Tank set a trap. We
Tank
kept
was setting
watching
that.
him turning his ass, turn his ass,
but
turn his ass
my
until
point,
he looked
OTB,
and his ass wasn't there.
my point, OTB, is he didn't see the shot. Most of the time, knockouts happen because you don't see the
Yeah,
shot.
you're right.
That's all I'm saying. But in it, that means I'm gonna ask you this, Drico. So Bud got a better chin than Ugas?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what we call, like, I don't know when we start rating chins. Like,
Well, I'm gonna tell you
goddamn,
why
Since
I
Bud,
said
your
that.
ability to get hit.
since
Goddamn
Bud
it, now
Crawford,
we giving
Take
out A
punches.
pluses for taking punches.
And I'm gonna tell you something else where Bud gotta be
This
careful.
is the sport of hitting and not
He
getting
better,
hit.
he gotta be careful that he don't swell up. Because he swole
who?
up in a Kell Brook. His eye was fucking swollen
Bro,
from the
he was
jab.
playing with Kell Brook. Did you see what Porter did to Spence? He swole Spence whole head up, man.
Man, stop that, bro. They had a fucking.
He did.
He had a
That's
knot
just a
on his
fact, coach.
from a fucking headbutt. He had a
Coach,
fucking knot on his head.
Spence's whole face was swole, coach. His
Bro,
whole head was
stop
swole.
that, Drico. Stop that. No, it was not.
Coach, yes, it was, coach. See, y'all in denial, bro.
We
Just
gonna
call
pull
it
up-
like it is.
Hey,
I
Kwame,
don't feel
pull up
like
Errol Spence face. Because this shit is bullshit.
Pull up Earl
well,
Spence's
I
face.
do feel like
For
Bud swell up.
against what fight?
Against
Uh,
what?
But
uh, Sean Porter. Earl Spence looked like Tommy
He had a
Hearns
knot
in the
on
Martin.
his head from a headbutt,
he-
and that was it.
No, he swole his whole face up, coach.
Bro, stop that, Drico. You tripping. Pull it
Bro,
up, Kwame.
he looked like Martin
And
when
we gonna
Tommy
be-
Hearns.
and
He
even
looked
if
like
come up
Martin
there
on the
with not
Tommy
a
Hearns
scratch on his
episode.
face, Drico gonna say, look at that, look at that. Bro, stop.
Bro, he looked okay. So
just
I
Spencer's
just
face
don't
was
know how much of an impact we really can put into that. Yeah, I mean,
I'm
because
just
shit,
wanna
when we
fight.
get this fight, y'all, they gonna have to get drug up out this ring. Yeah, I mean, but by the time this shit said and done, so
it ain't going the distance, OTB. It's
yeah.
over in 9.
Well, regardless of that, yeah, I mean, I just think that you're talking about two real prideful fighters. You understand? And at
That
this
looks
point
like
in their
someone's
career,
face. That looks like someone's face that
Man,
looks
look
like
at Earl.
Tommy
you
from
gotta
Martin.
admit he swole up.
Is
King.
that a head
Yeah, his
Brook right
eye.
there?
Yeah, he took some damage around his eyes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
took some
Yeah,
damage.
and you
Nah.
can
His
go
whole
to the
face.
tape on my show, and I
Now
His-
used a lot of tape
pull
from
up,
that
now
fight.
pull up, now pull up Bud face. after
No,
Kell
that wasn't
Brook.
the issue, coach. See what y'all doing? I said specifically.
protection?
No,
But
listen.
how much of an impact do y'all
pull
put
up Bud
into that?
face.
Give me a percentage on how much of an impact we put into swelling, meaning it's gonna be a cut or something that's gonna
I'm
stop.
just saying, bro.
Because one whole eye can be closed on either one of
Volume
these
is a
fighters,
motherfucker,
and we
bro.
can agree that they still gonna fight.
Now,
Volume is a motherfucker, bro. That's all I'm telling
Volume is a
now
counterproductive when
this
you
is
fighting
funny.
a counter puncher.
now this
Damn,
is
then
what
you
you're
use
talking
E
about.
Bunny. Hold
That's
on,
funny.
man. E Bunny
But
just
that's
got
what
shot,
that's
man.
but that's what it looked like when Mikey
Get
Garcia
better,
fucked
E
him up.
Bunny, man. Get better, E Bunny, man. We
Yeah,
hope to
bro.
see you
like
in boxing
Spence don't look
again
like this. Now,
soon,
if you want to
bro.
say
Anybody
Tommy from Martin and all that,
heard how he
he was
doing?
swole
How is
up.
he doing?
He working, coach. He working, man. I can't really assess, you understand, what type of confidence or when we gonna see him again. But he
He got
definitely
shot.
back working. He up in Colorado working with the guys, man.
Where did he get shot at?
Shoulder.
Oh, he got shot.
Ooh, yeah, he got popped up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bunny
got
got
shot.
hit, man. Down in Cincinnati. Down
Right.
here.
That sucks.
Right. Got a
Yeah,
fucking
man. And Bunny,
stay out the
yeah,
street,
Bunny like
bro.
a Bunny always down here. Like
Gotta
this
stay
ain't
out the
nothing
street.
new, man.
Yeah, but
But-
he gotta
These
stay out the
kids just
street, bro.
different.
Can't be
But
in the
yeah,
streets,
man,
bro.
I
When
don't.
you're a high profile guy like that, bro. You gotta stay out the streets, bro. Stay out them fucking streets, man. Niggas always want to be worrying about going back. You should have a small circle and fucking stay out them streets, bro. Cause there ain't nothing good out there, bro. Nothing.
Yeah.
Bro, out
As
here,
much as you right, coach, I don't really know the circumstances that he was down here under.
right,
He got
right. I got
business investments down here. Yeah, I mean, he they own a bar and a few
Yeah,
clubs
nigga
and shit.
ain't getting
So-
shot for just doing no
So
business. in
yeah,
that.
ain't no down here, coach. You never know. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. You get here to going to the bus stop down. Shit, motherfucker
Dog,
walk to the
I live in New Orleans, bro.
coach. I'm telling you, man.
Bro,
Ain't no difference.
I live in
You
New
can't-
Orleans, bro.
We can't. You can't just say that might have been street related though. And this is a city of wolves. They might have seen his chain. He might have went to the store and they followed him from the store. Man, they hungry. Coach, they hungry. Coach, it's a recession.
Yeah, I live in New Orleans, bro.
So it's as much as I'm just saying, we can't say that he was involved in those streets where he was in the streets.
We don't know the
You know what I
story.
mean?
We don't know the story.
Yeah. I don't really know the circumstances enough to even.
Coach,
Yes.
I got a question for you. If a fighter takes a lot of punches, they don't have to be clean punches, but like the activity that Earl Spence normally does.
Don't stop.
Right. Well, I'm just asking the question. Why y'all get so upset about
Go
these
ahead,
questions?
bro. Go ahead, bro.
Y'all be
'Cause
getting
I know where
upset
you
about these
going.
questions. Y'all say all this stuff, and then when I say something, it's
I'm
like,
your
oh my
co-host for no reason.
God.
I'm your co-host for no. I mean, come on, man. I know where you're going. I know where
I'm
you're
just saying,
going.
Coach, is
I'm gonna
it
meet you
true
there,
from
bro.
a lot of activity and wear and tear, it does like break down a fighter in terms of maybe slowing them up, or they can even see shots that are coming, but because physically they're worn down, they may not be able to do anything about it?
Hell yeah, absolutely. It happened in sparring all the time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When y'all like,
Yeah,
hey,
ain't no
John
defeating
Crawford,
father time. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Got to say I ain't think you was going there. I thought you was going back to the right hands. That's what I
no,
said.
what I was getting ready to
God.
say is just like when you guys are like, oh, Crawford could be down like 5 rounds to 2 or whatever. It's like he might not be able to do that because if you're taking that kind of activity, and you're framed, you're not you like Coach says it like what I see him being his shit gets disconnected. It's like you may not be able to stop what's coming at you at a certain point because
I mean, that's what happened with Ugas.
Right.
Because you've never seen Dennis Ugas fight that way. I mean, but like I said, if he can avoid taking big shots during the fight until later, then he can still do his thing. But if he's taking,
he can take the higher. Go ahead, Coach.
But if he is taking shots, eventually it's gonna start to wear on you, bro. I don't care who you are. It's gonna start to wear on you.
Yes, it starts to wear on you. But Kwame,
yes,
when I say he's down 5-2, and we've already agreed, I've already told you that in my head, I don't see Errol Spence, and we've all agreed that Errol Spence don't have the same volume. So that beating that we seeing him take, you understand, this is from a different punch output as well. And therefore, the response is different. So when I say, you understand, a 5-2, that's a 5-2 from, you understand, the house. And we all know the house don't, shit, you can count how many houses know boxing. Houses, goddamn it, people know boxing. Houses don't know boxing. So,
right,
you understand, if the view of the fight is Errol Spence up 5-2 rounds, and that could be from Steve Farhood because he don't know shit about boxing either. I done seen him be wrong.
But I'm talking about from fight fans like us that be like, okay, we're watching the fight and we're like, this guy's down.
Oh, I'll never see that fight where Errol Spence is literally winning that fight 5-2. I can't see it.
We don't know, right? But we have to wait till the fight happens.
I can't see that. I meant that in the literal essence that you understand. It might look like it's 5-2, but I might have it 3-2.
I'm just saying. My point is, I don't know why people think Errol's not going to have all this volume when, Drigo says he fights the same way all the time. So
I told you that.
Because
I told you why.
You got to respect the fighter that you're fighting against. The same reason I don't expect Bud to take 4 to 6 rounds to digest how he gonna end the fight. Because they both got to respect. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying to that, then, Drico, look how I caught him here, Coach. So that means that Errol Spence is making an adjustment, then, right?
No, it's not.
Well, if he's
They're
not
all
fighting the way that he
they're
always fights,
they're
and he's less valued, that's
they're
not an
all
adjustment.
they're both are gonna be able to make an adjustments, Kwame. It's who's gonna make out adjust who. And I think that TC is gonna out adjust Spence because he got more tools in the
But
toolbox. And
But
that's
I don't
what
know if that is the main factor in a fight. You can make
what you
more
mean.
adjustments. You can make more adjustments than a person, but still get beat up.
Facts.
I,
You
yeah,
could
You
be
can make a
making
ton
these
of adjustments
adjustments
and
because
still
you
get beat
losing.
up.
bro, we're
Yeah, you
talking
could be
about two
making.
elite fighters, bro.
Right.
We ain't talking about somebody that's gonna get in there and guess and do something that's out of the ordinary. We
But you
talking
just
about
I
the
agree
little
with you there.
adjustments.
Coach,
We
do you see the contradiction again?
ain't no contradiction.
It is. You just
It's
said that
it's
Spence
the
is
little
not going to throw as
adjustments.
many punches, but then you say he's not. But then
I
in the
I
flip side, you
told you
just said
what did I tell you earlier? I said both of them are gonna get in there and they're gonna make adjust. They're gonna have to
But I
in the
told,
ring.
you
but
said
I
that he's
told you,
not going to
Kwame.
throw that many punches. You said
He's
he's going to be
not.
the bro.
But
You said he's
Kwame, the
going to be the
one
most tentative
adjustment to,
Spence that we've ever seen. That's what you
He
said,
is.
but the
right?
one
He is.
adjustment that I give Errol Spence credit for, and Derrick James, is knowing that he got bad and no head movement. So what do you do to counter that? You adjust the pressure. So you make it to where it's not a factor in the fight because you so busy on a person's ass. But in doing that, you have to teach a fighter where the line is. You have to teach them how to control the line. You got to have a pretty ass jab, like Coach say. You know what I mean? So I give that respect where it's due, but when it comes to the magnitude of the adjustments, I might be inclined to
I
get at the
just don't
bud.
understand how you could say he's first. You said he's Frankenstein, then you say he's going
No,
to
I
be the
said
most
he has
tentative.
a
I'm not
basic
talking. No, no,
style.
you
Oh,
never
my
say
bad.
no. You don't say Frankenstein. I'm talking about
Yeah,
Drew.
yeah,
Drew
yeah. My
says
bad.
he Frankenstein. Then he says he gonna be the most. He only fights one way, which is the bulldoze. Then you say that He's not gonna throw a lot of punches, right? But then you say he don't make any adjustments. I mean, you say so many contradictive things.
No. That's not. Listen, they're gonna make adjustments, man. They're elite fighters.
But
What
you said Earl
he
don't
does,
make adjustments
but
though.
everything you said was a fact. He does fight like Frankenstein. He doesn't have the best lateral
You
movement.
say he don't make adjustments though, right?
He makes an adjust. Like, don't take what I say literal. Of course, he
So
makes
how we
adjustments, bro.
supposed to take it?
But I said he's not. It's gonna boil down to who's gonna out adjust who. It's who's has more tools in that toolbox. Can T see? I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to keep it as diplomatic as I can without being on TC side.
You are on
But
TC side. Just be
but
real about it.
I'm
I'm
gonna
Yeah,
be
real
it's
about
real.
it.
like
I'm on
Drake.
Spence side.
You
Just
can
be real
have a
about it.
But
Don't
you can
but
have
but
a
I'm gonna be
fighter,
I'm
a
gonna be
horse in this
100.
race.
I'm gonna be 100 OTB
Just
because see
yeah, just
what
don't be
Kwame doing
biased
what
and
Kwame doing is
ignore the fact.
nitpicking. What Kwame doing is nitpicking. See,
Well, that's what Kwame
I was
good
just
what
at.
calling
you
you
did
out.
He should
you
have been a
said
lawyer.
what you said was
He get your
no.
ass on the stand and he gonna
What
dissect
Drico said was it's gonna boil down to who's gonna take what superpower from which one. I said Earl has two things, two speeds. He jab, head, body, left hook, whatever, coming straight forward. What are you gonna do when TC counters that jab or when he times that jab and he takes that away? What other attribute that Earl has? Okay, we all know that Earl got spun, dipped, parried, moved, everything against Porter. He looked like a brand new newborn baby calf
Nigga, you
deer
tripping. He
went in
lost the
there
fight.
with
He won
y'all
the
know
fight
it.
8-4 with a
His back
knockdown. What are you
his
talking about,
balance has
bro?
been off. His
Hold on, y'all. Let me answer Rolando, man. The
yeah,
problem with that statement, Rolando, is that you said besides. That killed your whole
that's it
question.
right there. They act
Besides.
like that's a flaw, bro.
Ain't
Just
no
because
fucking
TC
what adjustments do we make besides?
bro, they
That
act
killed
like
it
that's a
there, bro.
flaw, bro.
That's not.
But
I
That
yeah,
mean,
killed it.
it's a real question. You don't
How
just
is
you
it a
don't no
question
you
and you
like
saying what?
address no, but he's asking a question. He's asking what adjustments does
Okay,
he do besides that? It's a question.
that's all you need,
Oh, so the only adjustment you need is to turn southpaw. The that's the that's the adjustment.
bro.
well
What did he
That's
do against Carol Brook?
you
the
talking
adjustment in him
about
turning
that version of
southpaw
Colbert. That's
is in
listen.
the instinct that he does it because he can't deal with he have a problem dealing with the jab.
Hey,
Now
let
that
me
ain't the
ask
only
y'all something.
adjustment he make because you got to be once you go southpaw. Now you got to be able to actually do something about the jab.
You got to
You
execute.
understand? Exactly. And that's where the prime adjustments come in, because now you got to start to look at his timing and how he timed this wide ass right hook that he continuously land on everybody that he fight. And not only that, the precision in what he does once he lands it. You understand? And the consistency that he landed under once he has timed your jab and him going southpaw. So as far as adjustments beyond him going southpaw, I don't know that nobody has pushed us to where we've had to see that.
OTB, you
However,
just baptized him.
that adjustment itself is detrimental in his fight game plan. So
I got a question for y'all.
I ain't paying no attention to Todd Swindle.
I got a question for y'all. Y'all think Speedy Rashida ready or what for
anybody want to look over where Speedy Rashidi from?
I
ain't gotta tell me.
I mean,
from
I
Ohio.
want to see the fight. I don't know.
He's from Ohio. Y'all know I'm ready. Where YSM ass at? YSM, when that fight happened, man, we making it happen. All content creators from Philly check in. Y'all know what we got going on the amateur level, on the big level, man. Philly and Ohio, we've been getting it in.
Coach, I don't think he's ready just because from a activity standpoint. You know,
yeah, I mean he didn't go a lot of ring. He went one round the other day, so
right from an activity,
definitely need rounds
from an activity. But I you know, it's always good to see like two young black fighters that are athletic who are confident fight each other, because that Castillo Clayton dude, he was shook. Rashidi Ellis is not gonna be you know, scared. I know he believes in himself, and he's one of the only guys, you know, who's like, I honestly believe wants to fight Jerron Boots Ennis. I think it would be an exciting fight to watch, but yeah, I gotta favor Ennis. I don't think it's gonna be easy though, to be honest, because you know there's just some guys who are like, again, I hate to say blue collar. I don't think Rashidi Ellis is just the epitome of a blue collar fighter, but he has kind of like, I give him that blue collar moniker, but he has a really good skill set as well, where you know he seems to be like very experienced and he believes in himself. And there are just certain guys that are like that. For instance, like Emmanuel Augustus with Floyd Mayweather, or I'm trying to think of another one like a Chop Chop Corley, or I'm talking about back in the day Chop Chop Corley. Uh, you know, or I'll give you another one when Adrian Broner fought that young guy, something Taylor. It was a black guy he fought. His name was something Emmanuel Taylor, could have been. Where he gave him a close fight. They There's just certain guys who they may not be like the superstar pedigree caliber of fighter, but they have that. They just have that. You're gonna have to fight these guys. It's not gonna be no laydown. And I think Rashidi Ellis is that type of fighter, but maybe a little bit more on a better or a higher skill set of that type of fighter. So I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. I don't think it's going to be one of these 6 round fights where Jerron Ennis gets rid of people in 6 rounds. But I wouldn't be shocked if I had to pick. I think it might be if Ennis gets a stoppage, it would be closer to the 9th or the 10th round. I think this would be his toughest fight to date, me personally. And I'm a huge Jerron Boots Ennis fan.
I got Rashidi Ellis. And a lot of y'all don't know, man, the talent definitely there. Everybody in boxing know about the talent there. I mean, y'all can go back, look at his amateur record. Look at who he fought as an amateur when you talk about wins over Montana Love, dude, Jermonte Clark, Patrick Day. Like he done beat his share. Yeah, I mean, we all know of the talent that he got. As far as him not being active, that's a good point. But shit, give him a fight, and shit, I got my money on Rashidi. And if you watch Jerron Ennis and the success that Gary Antoine Russell had against Jerron Ennis was because he could move Jerron boots like the fight off his back foot then. Yeah, I mean, and the boots that you see in the amateurs and the boots that you see now are two different boots. But when it comes to him being not comfortable on his back foot, that's something that I feel like Rashidi could do, and his footwork. Yeah, I mean, if you watch Rashidi footwork, his footwork on point. So I think that would be something that I think is really going to be a problem for Boots and would allow me to pick Rashidi Ellis behind him being from Ohio. Y'all know it's still some things that I want to see out of Boots, but I want to see that fight built and I want to see it get the stage that it deserved because we all know what the welterweight division is about to look like once needs to depart. So I really would like to see that fight built and they get the stage it deserved.
I'm gonna just piggyback. I'm just gonna enjoy that fight. I'm gonna enjoy seeing Boots in a fight. Hopefully, it's a test. And I think that Rashidi Ellis, what was his amateur record? Like 35. What was it? Something like 35 wins. He had 5 losses, 13 knockouts, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I
Well,
think
he
he
was
had this.
18-7, like 18-7, but he fought a
Yeah,
lot of tough, like he fought a lot of good fighters that you know what I'm
yeah,
saying we
yeah.
might
He
not know
fought a
now.
lot of good, and that's what I'm saying. He knows how to get in. He knows when he's in trouble. He knows how to get out of trouble, and I think that, and he's seen those different looks with those different type of top level amateur fighters. You know what I mean? So I think that coming up through there, he's prepared. But you can't really prepare for a Boots, but he's prepared for the tough road, that tough fight, because he's been in them, so he knows how to be in them. You know what I mean? He's
Now,
familiar with it.
now, question
So
is Boots in a lose-lose situation where if he does beat Rashidi Ellis or knocks him out, people are gonna say he still ain't fought nobody, or Rashidi Ellis has been inactive, and they start to make excuses, or will people start to give Boots his just due?
a lose
Well, that's
lose.
why I said I wanted to see, yeah, I mean, that fight get the stage it deserved. Yeah, I mean, and I mean that in the essence that shit. I don't want that fight next for neither one of these fighters. I've yet to see Boots in the main event. Shit, we know we ain't seen Rashidi in the main event. He ain't been
Right.
active enough. So, yeah, I mean, it's different when you got to wait 2 hours to go out there and you still got to stay motivated. You still, yeah, I mean, man, there's a lot of different things. I need to see what these fighters what's going to happen when they get hit. I know what type of person Rashidi is. I know what he gonna do when his jaw run. I don't know what Boot's gonna do. So you
Right.
understand, as far as me seeing certain things out of them these fighters to see that they deserve that stage, I still need to see.
Right. I agree with that.
Well, I think that Ellis need a couple more fights under his belt before he bark up that tree. That's
I
what I
agree.
think. I
I
think he
agree.
needs that because you're not gonna get better fighting and knocking out this guy. Well, this guy was who he fought was a guy who had to step in. So, didn't have a full training camp or whatever the case may be. But you can see the talent is there with Rashidi. You can see the speed. He got great hand speed. You know,
Fact.
I agree with Jay Smith. He said Ellis kind of remind me of a faster, more athletic Andre Berto.
Yeah,
I
I agree
agree.
with
Yep.
that too.
Yep.
When he got against the ropes a couple times, when he broke off to the left, he kind of did it in a shitty fashion. It wasn't smooth like it should have been.
Crispy. Yeah.
Right. It's things that he gotta get better at before he get in there with Boots. I think it'll be a good fight. I think he just need to get some more fights under his belt before he step
Fact.
into that water because I think that water is real deep. You got to know how to
It's
Yeah.
swim.
deep.
Now,
Yeah.
Now,
for me to answer your question, Kwame, I think it's a lose lose for Boots. Even though Rashidi, not taking nothing from Rashidi Ellis, but I'll piggyback off of Coach and OTB. Rashidi good, but he a couple fights away from Boots right now. But I agree
Fact.
with OTB when
the
OTB
one
say, my brother say he gon' Rashidi, he's battle tested too. So hey,
the one that got to step up, and y'all can say what y'all
Fact.
want. The fucking boy is dangerous, bro. Promise you, this dude is dangerous. And I know he from overseas, but that motherfucker dangerous, bro. Kind of been. Motherfucker's
Yeah,
dangerous, bro.
I thought you was gonna say
Woo,
that.
woo,
Yeah,
woo.
I mean he can punch.
That motherfucker. Not only that, bro. That motherfucker strong as the fuck. You remind me of his paw. For real, bro. That motherfucker can
He
fight, bro.
he got good feet, and
Yeah, leg, bro.
his problem is like, man, you see
Greek.
him and he sell out on his
You gotta
punches
go out.
so fucking much, y'all. Like he sell out on his punches at an extreme at a scary rate for me. You know what I mean? And he sell out on body punches. And when you watch him, he's not very defensively sound. So he ain't holding the phone. Yeah, I mean, once he starts selling out.
You gotta
And
look at the way he avoid punches.
but he
jumps a
do. He
lot.
set it up. He set it up well because I mean, by the time you see him make these mistakes, it's once fighters is hurt, but it's the consistency in him doing that for me. Because I mean, early in the fight, you can be crispy and you on the phone all the time. But 6, 7, 8, you know as well as I do, coach, that phone start dropping down in your jaw. I mean, now you get a little tired and you get to she get to asking, can I hear you? That's what I used to tell my kids.
Yeah,
She asking you, can she hear you? If
but
she
it's
asking you, can she hear you? Then you ain't on the phone.
Getting him to that fucking point though, bro. Because that motherfucker got a high work rate too, and that motherfucker is strong, bro. That's a strong little dude, bro. Believe me. And he got the pedigree. Ain't no motherfucker can't tell me he ain't got the pedigree. Because he got the fucking pedigree. He got the pedigree and he got it in his blood. Because his paw was a bad motherfucker. I ain't gonna even hold you, son.
His pops was a tough motherfucker.
That was a bad motherfucker, boy.
He was tough as nails.
Them motherfucker, what's his name, hit that motherfucker with everything he could. And that was a punching motherfucker. Gerald McClellan was a punching
McClellan.
G-Man.
Gerald McClellan was a bad motherfucker, boy.
Exactly.
Hey, that's one of my favorite fighters, y'all, boy, because McClellan could do it all, fight off both feet. You understand? Fight in the pocket from outside. That dude was something special.
Yep. And did you see that fight though?
And that, yeah, of course. That fight with Nigel Benn. That fight made Nigel Benn's career.
Nah, Nigel Benn's career was before that fight. He already had a hell of a fucking resume, and he was fucking fighting motherfucker and beating shit. Bro, Nigel Benn was a fucking monster, bro. And that fight was a war, bro.
Yeah, it was. That McClellan and Benn fight, boy. That made me respect. I think I was talking to somebody and I told him, shit, Nigel Benn wasn't shit, man. They made me watch that McClellan fight. And I really did gain some respect for Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn was a fucking monster, bro, back then. Man, I'm telling you, bro.
But what scared me about Conor Benn and is how they moving it. And you, as much as I like the Van Heerden fight, but let's look at the context that EJ fought Van Heerden under and that Nigel Benn fighting him under. Yeah, I mean, and we know the type of problems that, like, shit, the EJ Van Heerden fight. Now that's some tape too for your ass to watch because Van Heerden was catching EJ ass, but just to put in context how they moving Conor Benn and how they setting him up and giving him these fights that's not really progressing him other than him doing what we know him to be good at.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's time for him to step up too. It's time for him to get in.
Fact, say that shit again, coach.
Time for him to step up. He had that.
Yeah, they are.
It's a step up fight now, bro. It's time to step up.
They are.
What's the step up fight for Conor Benn right now?
Man, I mean, you trying to look for a journeyman or you trying to put him in there with a contender?
Well, of course, we want to see him get better. We know he ain't ready for, the upper echelon of that weight division. He had 147. So we know he ain't ready for boots. He was just over there with Rashidi Ellis, and they didn't want that fight. We know that wasn't a fight. We best believe they tried to make it happen. You understand? But it was hard for them to keep him active because don't nobody want to fight dude. And Conor Benn is on that list of people that name could have been on the list and they. So, what's the fight that we think would progress his career?
Yeah,
I say David Avenesian.
I'm not up on him.
I like David. David can fight. He along the context of a journeyman, but David can box. I feel like that energy
I
ain't.
mean, Conor Ben, bro, he in the fucking top 10, bro. So in every one of these motherfuckers, man.
So it's
Fuck it.
time for him.
Put
You
him
feel
in
like
there.
it's
Put
time
him in
for him,
there.
coach?
I mean, you in the fucking top 10, bro. You with the ring, he ranked number what? He ranked 10.
Do he
WBA,
beat Boots?
he ranked fourth.
Do he beat Boots? Panel.
Man, I mean,
I
I'm
don't
not saying
know.
he's gonna beat Boots.
Woo.
I'm not saying that, but that's a good fight. Boots not
Okay.
even in
Yeah.
the top 10. No, yeah, I'm lying. Boots
I
is
was
in the
about
top
to
10.
say Boots. Do he
You
Look,
beat
got
that's
look,
Stanionis? We gonna
WBC.
go past that. Do he beat
Look,
Stanionis?
look. I think he beat Stanley.
ooh.
I think he
I
beat
don't
Stanley.
know.
I think he beat Stanley. Man, Stanley look like shit against Butev. Them motherfuckers, neither one of them motherfuckers can fight. Them motherfuckers ain't that good.
Coach be
I'm
going
sorry.
off.
They are not
I
that
don't
fucking
know. I
good.
think that
Coach be
I'm gonna
going
tell you
off.
what I
I
see
think
when I
kind of
think
been
about.
stop standing on this
I
easy.
think
Easy
Stanionis
work.
jab his ass all night.
I think standing on this
Jabbed
get
the fuck
popped in
out of
that fight
out of
all night.
Connor
I
Ben.
promise. Man,
He
you
jabbed the
look at
hell out of
standing on this
Connor Ben.
against Butev, bro. Them motherfuckers look like shit, both of them, bro. That shit was terrible, bro. That was a horrible fight. I don't know what y'all be looking at, because that shit was
Hey, you
trash.
OTB, you got coach going, coach. Neither
That
one of them
shit was
motherfuckers can
I
fight.
trash,
always
bro.
get coach going. Me and coach are always
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
That shit was so trash.
yeah.
Standing on and Butev was trash, bro. They look like Rock'em Sock'em robots in there, bro. That shit was I said, look at these two clowns. And they balance as shit water.
Yeah,
Both of them. They
yeah.
said, bro. I'm
Shit, he
serious.
said shit water.
Wow. I think hey,
Damn.
going back to Nigel Ben, did he fight Iran Barkley? He beat Iran Barkley, didn't he? Or did they? Oh, it was Chris Eubanks that he had problems with.
Not
Nigel
no
Ben.
Chris Eubanks.
Huh?
Not Chris Eubanks. Not
No,
Chris.
he Chris Eubanks beat Nigel Ben, didn't he?
No.
Like he beat him, but didn't
Those guys had
Iran
real
he
bad
beat
blood.
he beat Iran Barkley ass though, didn't he? I watched that on I wasn't around, y'all, but I be up on my
Yeah, I
boxing.
think he did beat the fuck out of Iran Barkley.
That's what put him on the map. I think that Iran Barkley
Yeah, that
OTB.
Iran Barkley fight put him on the map. But
Yeah.
as far as I look at the context, I say the McClellan fight made him because McClellan was his highest opponent, ring IQ wise, accomplishment wise. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the things that Gerald McClellan accomplished in the sport, you
Yeah,
understand?
bro.
Him beating Julian
Yeah.
Jackson. Let's remember, Julian Jackson was
Woo.
the boogeyman. Ain't nobody
Woo.
want none of that. McClellan
Woo.
went out there and took
He
that
didn't lose.
motherfucker.
He didn't lose to Chris Eubanks. He didn't lose to Chris Eubanks. It was
I think he did, coach.
but he did.
Yeah, I know. I know he beat Iran Barkley. I don't know
No, he
about
did.
the Chris
I
Eubanks.
think he lost it. I think they fought like 3 or 4 times. I watched it. I know he lost one and it was a draw. I'm not sure about the third one.
It was a
One was
draw.
a loss, one was a draw.
It was a
They fought
draw.
like 3 times,
He
didn't
lost
they?
once. Yeah, he lost once. He lost once. They drew once. Yeah, he lost once and they drew one.
Yeah, Chris Eubanks was giving him hell, man. He just had
Yeah,
his number.
Chris Eubanks was tough too.
Yeah.
He just that dude, man, he ain't never want to fight none of the Americans. None of them. He was
Yeah, you right.
Damn sure did.
that motherfucker ain't want no smoke with Roy at all.
No,
None
he
with
didn't.
James Bond. He ain't want no smoke with none of them.
That's why Roy signed his son. Roy say,
Yeah.
since your daddy went
Wow.
fighting.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. So we get y'all final thoughts, and we'll go ahead and reconvene later on this week.
Yeah, OTB. Give me a holler, man, when you get off here. I got coach's info.
Yeah, I'm
Kwame, you
about to
got
leave mine
OTB
in the
number?
private chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kwame
Oh,
got it. Get it from Kwame.
okay, Kwame, text me OTB number, man, and when we get out of here, if you
Yeah,
could, if
yeah,
that's
text
fine.
me, bro.
Okay. Yep. I thought. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say thank y'all, brothers, for supporting me and everything. And this, man, y'all
Always.
come on through OTB. I'm expecting to see you at some point, brother. I'm gonna be
Of
going
course,
live.
coach.
on the just you talking boxing. And Drico, if you got a woman or a boyfriend or whatever, a dog, a cat.
It is never a dull moment at Loyal to the Game.
Yeah, I think
Boxing
it's
Talk.
crazy.
Never a fucking dull moment, B.
He had to
Damn,
get the last one in there, didn't he? You hear that?
Oh God.
Coach let
Come
us
to the
know
show,
why he the
man, on
OG of
Fridays
this
at
shit.
8:00.
That's
man.
my baby right there, man. Appreciate you. Coach checked up on me, man. Coach was checking up on me and everything, man. Yeah, that's my man's right there.
Hey,
Off
man,
off
you
of
gotta
here,
look
man.
out. You gotta look
Yeah.
out for children and fools, bro. You gotta look out for them. So,
Right. I appreciate it. I need all the prayer I can
Well,
get, man.
we know Drico old ass ain't no child, so we'll go with
Man, I just need all the prayer, man. But I
Hey, man.
appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. Once again, once again loyal to the game, man. Man, I appreciate you, brothers, man. We might get into it on the show, but off this thing right here, man, we brothers, we like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we gonna look at each other and lean on each other, not only for this right here, the heart, but we also lean on each other for this mental too, man, because that's a problem with us as black men. We hate to say, hey, I need help or reach out or something, man. And this right here really helps us get away. And I hope that it helps somebody tonight who's contemplating doing whatever they was doing and just stop for a minute and tuned into us and have a different outlook upon whatever they got going on, man. So hey, man, I just be appreciative of who I am and what y'all are, and my comrades. Love my comrades. I love my brothers, man, and that's what it is with me, man.
All right,
For
that's
sure,
what's
brother.
up. That was a mouthful, Drico. I
We
didn't know you
talking
had
about
that in you.
don't be talking about no appreciate y'all having us. You a part of the show, Drake. You
Hey,
ain't never
man,
left,
appreciate
man.
it. Appreciate
You
it,
ain't
man.
never left.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All
Well, salute to the panel.
Y'all
Salute to
come
the chat.
subscribe, bro.
Make
Yeah,
sure you
y'all
guys
get the
subscribe
glove
to
up boxing
Glove Up Boxing and more. You got to
and
put it in
more.
more because
Yeah,
Glove
my
Up
bad,
Boxing
my
will bring
bad.
up a lot of stuff. So Glove Up
Yeah,
Boxing and more. Make sure you guys subscribe to Coach. Stay loyal to the game, and we out of here.
Peace.
Right.